We are live for the children.
Clicking live, TikTok time to rock.
Clicking live. Hey, wait a
Good
minute before we
evening.
go live.
Well, you're not even centered, man. And why is your head bigger than
Oh,
mine? Hang on. I will increase the size of
I
my
have a big head,
dome.
man. It's not my
There we
fault.
go. Now we're even.
All right.
Hey, guys. I wanted to click live real quick. We would have been significantly later, but I asked AP if he heard about the the latest Dawa info with the Warner and who else? Muslim Lantern, Sneeko, Libiano, otherwise known as Orthodox Lips. Um, dude, you see, where have you been all day?
I've been busy all day. I don't know what's going on. What's happened?
How many? Hang on, let me take a poll. Not in the way, not in the Warner sense. That was a little heads up, buddy.
I'm
But
already flabbergasted. I don't know what's going on.
hang on, want to start a poll. Uh, did you hear the latest news about the Dawa guys?
Now, what is happening?
Start poll. Again, not in the Warner sense. Yeah, I was live with Jai and DOC earlier, and it was the show was called the Christmas Dilemma. The Christmas Dilemma. But we spent a good portion of the show going over the latest Dawa stuff, and then it was. Oh my goodness, most people aren't familiar with this. Oh, you guys are in for a real treat today. You're in for a treat. We were here for hang on, hang on. What? Uh,
What
Idea
happened?
Pants.
I want to know.
Idea Pants says, "Who zooted who?" Oh, sounds like everybody's zooting everybody over there in the Dawa behind the Dawa scenes.
Wait, did we uncover a big gay ring this time with the Dawa? What is happening this time?
Well, it's. I'll let you see. It's not. It's not. He didn't actually go out and do it. He just said some stuff about what he's willing to do. And here's the background because I didn't fully understand the situation. Anyway, Giant DOC shared something that I guess it was on TikTok or something. And there's an ex rapper. Dawa guys love those. There's an ex rapper who converted to Islam, and he's been hanging out with all the Dawa guys, right, for a while. His name's Malik, ex rapper, and he just exposed everybody. He's like, you know what these guys are doing behind the scenes? They're all sitting around high, they're banging all these chicks and stuff like this. Anyway, he apparently did this stream, and then people started screen recording when they realized it, and then Giant DOC shared a little 2 minute clip. So I got that 2 minute clip, which we're gonna go ahead and watch right now. What is this? Look at this. Someone says the Warner got caught with weed and chicks. Yeah. So there's all this stuff about these guys banging all these chicks behind the scenes, and these guys hitting the clubs, and they basically have this arrangement when the new guys come in like Sneeko, and they say, We'll teach you about halal. You teach us about haram, and then they go and do all this stuff, and they're banging all these chicks. Anyway, it's Muslim Lantern. All these guys, they are all. This guy exposed everybody. He's called them all out. But
I've
the
been
Warner,
banging on shit.
the Warner said what he'd be willing to do to get into the Illuminati.
What?
Okay, let me see. 76% of people did not hear what went on today. That's interesting because, yeah, we talked about it in the live stream with Giant. And then there was double news because, wait, I didn't even share the link, man. Hang on. I'm going to share this on
What's
Twitter real
wrong
quick.
with you, man?
And then double news. You had all the over 30 of the Dawa guys said condemned Daniel Hakikachu and basically takfired him, man. Including Ali Dawa, a bunch of the main guys, all takfired Daniel Hakikachu. They posted a letter and they all signed it and stuff like that. So they takfired that dude. And so we're live.
So wait, they signed an official letter of excommunication of Daniel Kikachu.
Yeah, they said they said they're like disassociating with him and stuff, but it's because they're
Why?
saying it's all this blasphemous kufr stuff that he says.
I personally do not accept that. I think that if there is one Muslim apologist, one da'wah guy who represents Islam correctly and properly, it is Daniel Haqiqichu, or as he pronounced it, Daniel Haqiqichu.
Let's see. We have Matan even was ragging on them for girls weed drinking. They're acting like it's all jokes. Oh yeah, well we're about to let's go ahead and play the clip. This is a good time for it, right? So everyone, I said yesterday on AP's channel that people could pick which topic they wanted us to address today, but AP overruled everyone and just said, "Let's just talk about Piers and Mosab." It was such a base discussion.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said
What I said is Mosab gave a very Islamophobic interview on Piers, worth looking. But of course, when I suggest something, or when I bring something up, apparently that is so important to David that he's like, okay, screw all these people who suggest different things.
you might want to rethink your language or screw all these people, given what we're about to see. And you might want to rethink using the word Pierce. We're going to have to try and discuss this entire interview with Piers and Mosab without using Pierce's name. We're just going to call him Mr. Morgan or something like that, because there'll be too many jokes going on.
Or we could say Piers, but not in the Dawa sense.
Pierce, but not in the Warner sense.
Oh, okay.
All right. You want to just go and watch this?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we're going to go and watch.
I have no idea what's going on, so I'm a little bit discombobulated and bamboozled. So let's check it out.
Okay, so this is a clip.
And
there's apparently much more, but I only have the clip that Jai shared earlier, so we'll have to wait for Jai to share more, because I don't even know how to find stuff on TikTok or anything. Anyway, so if I've gathered this correctly, Malik, former rapper, becomes a Muslim, starts hanging out with all the Dawa guys as they travel the world and all these different cities they go to, and he describes the stuff they do. So let's go ahead and check this out. Ready? Here we go.
You said you would literally take you up the butt, Warner. You said if I had to take you up the butt one time, so I could literally be in the Illuminati, just so I could help people come to Islam, you would. Can you believe that Warner comes to me like this? He's like, Malik, I don't know how I get away with everything with the dawah. It's so funny, bro. This is how he talks. It's so
yeah. So here he's talking about the Warner, how the Warner's like talking about how he gets away with everything. It doesn't matter what kind of drugs or who they're banging or stuff like this. It doesn't matter. They get away with everything because they're Dawa guys. We've been saying that for it doesn't matter what they do. They don't. Their fans do not care.
Who is this guy? Who is talking here?
That's Malik.
Okay.
That's Malik, the guy who's been rolling with the Dawa guys because he became a Muslim. And I don't know what they did to take him off, but here we go.
funny, bro. I never get caught or called out for my stuff. It's because I'm big. Chat, if you remember when I took that picture on my birthday, he was like, yo, put the chain on for the pic. I was like, yo, because he was rolling the blunt.
So this is that's the Warner there. He's got a blunt. He's smoking a blunt, and he put the chain on Malik there. So you can see the chain.
Because he was rolling the blunt, the chain was hurting his neck.
Did you hear that roll? He's trying to roll the blunt, and the chain is hurting his neck. And so he said he put the chain on Malik here.
Because he was rolling the blunt, the chain was hurting his neck. So I said, "Yo, like, put the chain on me if you're gonna smoke, right?" Chat. This guy gets high as hell all day and all night. This guy had a chick in his bed calling me on FaceTime. A random girl that he picked up. That's why, bro, when you see these Dawa guys bring influencers and they're 10 deep, just know they're at the local club at night. Wallahi, go with your binoculars. And, bro, they're always asking me, yo, Malik, where should we go? Malik, where's the spot? Malik.
They're asking him because he was a rapper touring the world. So wherever they go, they're like, tell us the best club. Tell us the best place where we can go grab some chicks and bring them back to the hotel.
Okay, I have one obvious question here, which is, until what point was Malik part of that and willingly participated in all that and was like, yeah, man, yeah, go to this club, let's go together and all that? At what point did he decide to no longer be part of it and to just expose it, and why?
Yeah, that's the thing. If we know all these Dawa guys, and so take someone like Muhammad Hijab. So it basically got exposed that they're treating Muslim women like prostitutes, and doing these misyar marriages and so on, and he's calling them like their hotel wives and stuff. You're just my wife for the hotel and so on. So they've been doing that, but they all know about it, and they're all working together at it, and they're all working together to silence anyone who tries to come forward. But you're sitting here thinking, wait, if all you guys are in on this, what happens when you guys start have a disagreement? Now, the solution for the Dawa guys is they all keep dirt on each other. They all have files of dirt on each other so that it's a warning. If you cross me, I'm going to expose you too. So no one wants to be exposed. So they keep it all covered up, right? But apparently Malik doesn't care much, and he's like, I'll call you guys out. But let's see. Let's check this out.
And bro, they're always asking me, yo, Malik, where should we go? Malik, where's the spot? Malik, how do I get the cars out here? Malik, how many times has Warner hit me up to try to get him a car out there for his friends? How many times, bro, this guy's even doing TikToks. Wanna see to the tele, and he got he's doing the little dance with him. The same Muslims that pass out Qurans going to Colombia with Myron. They were all there. Sneeko, Adam, Slim, they're all there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That group, I feel like they're separate from Lantern. Like,
okay, fam. Why?
Did you hear that? You ready? Listen. He said, hey, Sneeko, Adam, that's Adam Soleil, Slim, that's Adam's buddy, talking about all these guys are out there doing this stuff. And the other guy says, yeah, but that's different from Muslim Lantern. The guy's going to be like, oh, Muslim Lantern? Watch this. Listen.
Busy on Lantern, going to Colombia with Myron. They were all there. Sneeko, Adam, Slim, they're all there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That group, I feel like they're separate from Lantern. Like,
okay, fam. Why are you busy on Lantern? Go ask him. Say Warner said you were in Bosnia smashing hoes with you and Sneeko. Is it true?
Smashing.
Do you know that Leafy records phone calls of Dean and Libiano? Did you guys know that? Leafy literally is on. They're supposed to be buddies, but Leafy records their phone calls. Libiano is like a criminal. He does bad things, but he doesn't want to get caught on the phone, so they have to record him. They have to record him. May Allah.
Who's Leafy?
I don't know. So there's Leafy, and so Lesbiano, aka Ortho Duck Lips. He's apparently doing all kinds of crimes. He doesn't want to get caught, so they have to record each other. This is what I just said, right? They keep dirt on each other so that you can never expose me because I'll expose all the dirt on you that I have. Hang on, let me back this up.
Is it true?
Damn.
Do you know that Leafy records phone calls of Dean and Libiano? Did you guys know that? Leafy literally is on. They're supposed to be buddies, but Leafy records their phone calls. Libiano is like a criminal. He does bad things, but he doesn't want to get caught on the phone, so they have to record him. May Allah curse me if I'm lying. But
that's pretty serious. I'm not lying. May Allah curse me if I'm lying.
I'm supposed to have, I think, 2 debates or something lined up or upcoming with D's response. So maybe I should ask him about that during one of those debates.
Oh, ask him
he likes
about,
to go off topic, so I should just go off topic also and ask about this.
Yeah, ask about what Ortho Duck Lips is doing. Yeah, I was trying to think of what kind of crimes he's been committing. Maybe it's getting illegal lip injections. We don't know. What it is. I don't. What?
Illegal lip injections.
Yeah, he wants the duck lips, right? He doesn't have the duck lips, but when he poses for pictures, he's like, I can't even do it. But he wants big plump lips for something. Given the stuff we're hearing about the Warner, it might make sense. But let's go ahead and play it.
may Allah curse me if I'm lying. But imagine, I'm the problem maker.
Wait, Dean, you don't know who we are? Yeah. Wait, Dean, you just say we don't know who we are? Hey, Dean, you took conscious edits from ChatGPT, bro, and now you think you're special.
Bro, hey, that's Dean. They're making fun of him for getting his conscious edits response to the Islamic dilemma from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, how can I respond to this? Say that Allah is consciously editing the Torah and the gospel through these stories, and they're making fun of him for acting like he came up with it when he got it from ChatGPT. But let's see here.
Yeah, all right,
bro, you debate like a dry piece of toast. Dean, you debate like a dry piece of toast,
bro. Why are you doing?
Chill out.
Why are you why are you coming for Dean?
And guys, that's the tip of the iceberg. I haven't even gotten to personal shit. You said you would literally take you up the butt, Warner. You said if I had to take you up the butt one time, so I could literally be in the Illuminati, just so I could help people come to Islam, you would.
Did you get this? AP, like who who says he wants to do dawah by leading out with, hey, if anyone needs someone to take it up if anyone needs to take it up the butt to do dawah, I'll do it. I mean, I'll do it. I'll volunteer, man. If the Illuminati wants me to take it up the butt to let me join them, so I can give dawah, I'll do it, man. I'll do it. Can you imagine this guy's like, hey, look at them hobos over there, man. I think I should give dawah to them. Hey, hobos, if you want me to take it up the butt, I mean, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just I'm your guy. I'm your guy. I'll do it. Just let me give you dawah afterwards. What?
There is of course a very obvious, funny and ridiculous and disgusting aspect of that. But the other aspect is also actually the difference of how different it is for Christians, for example, to have a motive to preach Christianity, preach the gospel to people, and how it is with Muslims. When Christians want to go out there and spread the gospel, share the gospel with people, they have a genuine. They don't want to spread their butt cheeks. They want to spread the gospel. So, but the thing is, aside from that too, it is because Christians have a genuine concern, a genuine intention, a genuine concern to do God's will, to do what is right, to speak the truth, to be morally upright within the within the lines and the framework of Christianity, in order to spread the truth and not the butt cheeks to people, to invite more people to see the truth, to participate in the truth. Whereas with Muslims, the motive is not to just do God's will and be upright, good, moral people, and to spread the gospel. It is to spread the butt cheek. No, it is to simply spread Islam. Because that's how it is in the Muslim mindset. It is, I'm going to make lots of people Muslims. I'm going to convert people to Islam. Yeah. And then Allah will say, hey, look at this guy. He converted so many people. Yeah. It's going to be so awesome. I'm going to be rewarded by Allah. He's going to give me a whole bunch of treats. He's going to throw me bone treats and all that. So this is the attitude in Islam, right? In Islam, there is no such attitude of, we are aware of the truth. We believe in the truth. We want to spread the truth. We want to share the truth with others. We want others to participate in the truth. It is simply numbers, which is why you will always hear from Muslims how proud they are when people convert to Islam. Even if it's some complete imbecile like Lily J, for example, if she comes to Islam and says the dumbest things that even sound unbelievable, that sound like parody, it doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is Islam grow, Islam big number. I give Islam big number. I can take credit for giving Islam big number. That's what matters. They don't really care about the truth and the spirit and the reality and the beauty and the divine aspect of it. That is a difference between da'wah and Christianity.
Yeah, and so this is a pretty wild way to end 2025, the worst year in dawah history. Same day, we get all this stuff about the Warner and Muslim Lantern and Orthodox Lips and Sneeko and all these guys, what they're doing behind the scenes. And then on the same day, we get all these dawah guys takfiring Daniel Hakikachu. This is how we're ending 2025. 2026 is going to be lit, ladies and gentlemen. The whole year is going to be fire.
Hey, God, seriously, man, if I could just make 100 people become Muslim, I would get gangbanged to do it. Seriously, I would take it up the butt from 50 men or 30 men if I could just make more people convert to Islam.
If I could just get the strength of 30 men to give da'wah. Like, anyone, hey, all you Dawa guys, if you're ever anywhere in the world and someone says, of course I will convert to Islam, but only if I can hump someone up the butt, have me on speed dial. I'm right here. Just call me right up and say, hey, I'll be on the next plane to come out there and let this guy bang me in my butt for Dawa.
I want to be just like Muhammad on the night of Azut. If I can just make people convert to Islam.
That's what people are picking up. Let's check out the chat, because a bunch of people already picked up on the parallel. So guys, here's the parallel, right? The Muslim view of the night of Al-Zut, for people who actually know about it, right? Because lots of Muslims have no clue about it. But for the Muslims who know about the night of Al-Zut, they believe that what's described as men who look like Al-Zut is actually jinn. They're jinn. But here's the thing. Jinn are actually physical beings. Jinn are actually physical beings that can just be invisible, right? So that doesn't make it better that they were the ones riding him all night long, because, again, the word there, Yaqubun, that can refer to riding an animal. If you're using it of a person, another person, it's sexual, right? It's used of like a guy riding his wife and stuff for sex, mounting his wife. And so it's used of sex if it's talking about you doing something to another person. And so if you've got all these jinn and they're riding Muhammad all night, and then he comes back and he's, I'm in so much pain. My butt hurts so bad. Ibn Masud, let me fall asleep on your lap because my butt hurts, right? They would just be jinn doing it to him. But the Muslim interpretation is that Muhammad was allowing the jinn to ride him all night long so that he could recite the Quran to them and convert them to Islam, right? So if Muhammad's willing to get banged in the butt to convert a bunch of jinn to Islam, why wouldn't the Warner let the Illuminati bang him in the butt to join their group, right? I think this probably had something to do in the context of like the Diddy parties, when you like Diddy had your initiation where you're all going to get banged. The Warner's like, I would do that in a heartbeat. I mean, yes, just get the baby oil. Everyone gather all the baby oil and smother me in baby oil and have your way with me. If I can only get into the Illuminati. So that's what's been going on. But yeah, people have picked up on this. So let's check out these super chats. I'm excited for Piers Morgan. Yeah, we're going to hear from Piers here in a second. And I heard about Backdoor Warner. Backdoor Warner. Will I go to hell if I don't confess all my sins to a priest before I die? I'm really terrified of going there. Can you give me any advice of how to not worry about it? I believe in Jesus Christ.
You should ask your priest.
Yeah, you should ask your priest about that. We're not people who are worrying all the time. So you might want to, dude, read the Gospels, man. Read the Gospels. You don't see Jesus. Oh, and guess what? You're going to go to hell if you don't go tell everything to a priest or something like that.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. So where are you getting that from? Where are you getting the idea? Like biblically, you're supposed to believe that Jesus died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead, and that he's Lord, and you're supposed to live according to the Bible. So if something is causing you to constantly be freaking out as, oh my goodness, maybe I did something when I was 7 years old and I forgot to confess it and then I'm going to go to hell. You believe Jesus died for your sins or not? Anyway.
So the Muslim account is that it wasn't a bunch of well-endowed Indian men. It was a bunch of well-endowed jinns that night.
Yep. So Luke says, whenever you say giant DOC, I hear giant AOC and I get triggered. AOC is very giant. Cover Tulsi's speech about Islam at Turning Point USA Today. Whoa. Oh, Tulsi. I thought you said, I was thinking Tusi from Tusi TV. Yeah, we might. AP, since there were a ton of speeches and then you had Cardi B. No, not Cardi B. You had Nicki Minaj.
Dude, what is wrong with you? How can you confuse Cardi B with Nicki Minaj, man? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, how can I make such a mistake? I'm such an expert in that whole topic. We might want to do some shorter live streams and just spread them out, not in the Warner sense, but spread them out and do shorter live streams, but go through these. Not like the Illuminati's going to go through. Aren't they all Zut from Pakistan? I guess that makes Momo the first victim of grape gangs. Yep. Before any of their grooming in the UK, Muhammad was there first. He is just following his prophet, taking one for the team in the rear to do dawah to jinn. That is correct. Al Zut has entered the chat. The spirit of the Al Zut lives in Malik, however you spell it. Oh man. Salam al
By the way,
Masih.
I have to break it to those who actually think like that guy, the Warner, but there is no such thing as the Illuminati. It doesn't exist. You know, there was a time when I was also kind of
Then who
stupid
was
enough.
banging me in the butt the other day and saying that it was my initiation into the Illuminati?
You know, there was a time when I was like, when I had jumped out of Islam and I was just an atheist. And my primary drive at that point was I have been repressed my whole life. I'm done with that. I want to now experience everything. And even at that point, I thought, you know, if there was something like the Illuminati, maybe I would like to join or something like that. But not even at that point did I ever think I would take it up the butt to join and do something.
Yeah, who says it's never crossed my mind to say that? like, hey man, hey, I'd like a car. I mean, I'd take it up the butt if I had to, but you know, I'm hungry, man. I don't got a salmon. I mean, I'll take it up the butt, man. It's like, what?
Darwa. You see the power of Darwa. Darwa makes you think, I'll take it up the butt. I'll do it. I don't even have to get anything in return. I'll just do it.
Oh my goodness, man. Dawa. What a way to end the year, guys. The worst year in Dawa history. And this is how you end the year. Takfiring Daniel and Kikachu. And all these guys, all their dirty laundry all over the place. Chris here says, Salam al-Masih Dizzle. Let's be honest. Warner is being a true Muslim following the Sunnah. He is willing to do exactly what Muhammad did. Al-Zut. That is true. And so we can sit here, we as non-Muslims, we can sit here laughing about the Warner, but Muslims who are watching this are going, yes, Phil, finally we found a true noble Muslim who accepts Muhammad as the true pattern of conduct, as Allah declares in Surah 33, verse 21, that he's a beautiful pattern of conduct. You see? Face down, butt up. That's the way the Warner likes it. Dawa's own swords are piercing their own hearts. That's not all they're piercing. Can you imagine a guy named Illuminati taking him up on that offer? Yo, hey, Warner, my name's Illuminati. I heard what you said. Oh, gosh, man. What's wrong with these guys? Give me a wild.
Our souls.
Hey, they want the Tucker screech, man.
What Tucker speech?
The Tucker screech, man. Wait, I can't even do it, man.
Why would I even do a Tucker screech?
Dude, we do need to have a Joker origin story, and it's just Tucker getting molested by a demon in bed.
But David, taking it up the butt is bad. It's really bad.
The demon climbed on top of Tucker. And he's like, "What are you doing, man? I'm not that was a Warner. The Warner said that." If this is the last stream I catch from you two this year, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. 2025 was one heck of a ride, not as rough as of a ride as the Al-Zut, but haha, and not as rough as the Illuminati.
I wish you a Merry Christmas.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. They made me beat them in the desert. Have you guys heard of the organization WLC, World's Last Chances? They've been putting up billboards around my city saying Jesus is not God and he didn't pre-exist. Why don't you humiliate them? Heard in Islam, it is mandatory to take it upon you in the butt as Muhammad, but hey, I'm just asking questions. That is true. I've heard the same thing. Hey, David and AP, are y'all going to the Bless God Summit in 2026?
Of course, man. I have no idea where and when, but yes, I guess so.
I don't know. I was invited, but I constantly do stuff to not get invited to places, so I don't know. I crack myself up, man. Let's see. Dawabunga brother D Wood, I had a strength addiction, but now it's been 30 days since I've had my moon split to get all the strength. Yozo, you only zoot once. Yeah, you only zoot once. So anyway, as far as the no here, I'm going to go ahead and
What in the heck is this, man?
I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Not in the way the Warner wants to end the poll.
World's last chance, preparing hearts and minds for Yahushua's sudden return. Flat
What?
Earth.
What are you talking about? What are you just
Just
random?
whoever-
you reading random
Whoever
stuff?
whoever just asked about WLC, World's Last Chance. It's some crazy organization that has a completely messed up theology about Jesus, and that believes that his coming is imminent, but it's actually different from what Christians actually believe. And they believe in a flat Earth and all kinds of things. I don't know. Whatever.
Wild stuff. Weird, wild stuff. Okay, guys, so we just had to get that out of the way. Want to be clear, as we're going through this discussion between Mr. Morgan and Mosab Hassan Yousef, we don't want
Mr. Morgan.
we don't want any jokes about the Warner and the things he's willing to do, or about Sneeko and Slim and Adam and Muslim Lantern and all the stuff, Orthodox Lips, and all the stuff they're doing behind the scenes for Dawa. But I mean, think about the reasoning, right? Like serious reasoning here. These guys, it's dawa, it's dawa as their living, but it's just to fund their like constantly getting high. Hey, yo, you remember? Did you see that clip of Muhammad Hijab when he was with Sneeko and he's like clearly stoned out of his mind and he was giggling himself silly talking about Alex Jones's dad? And it's like he's clearly high out of his mind.
Yes.
And it's like, how are they posting this right now? But he's clearly high out of his mind. But I mean, just think about it. Apparently, these guys they go out and look. We're here to give you a Quran and do da'wah. And then behind the scenes, yo, where's the club at? Let's get some hoes. Bring them back to the hotel room. And that's what they wanted to do. So think about the Warner's reasoning. He's saying he's willing to take it up the butt to join the Illuminati. Why? This would expand his dawah reach. It would expand something else too, but it would expand his dawah reach, and it would allow him to, live like that to a much greater extent. He'd be able to bang way more hoes. And apparently someone is saying like, in the other clips, but like, I'll wait for Jai to post this stuff. But apparently these guys are just banging chicks left and right and just trading out wives left and right and just real quick, like pick up a girl, bang her, you're my wife for now. Anyway, basically sounds a lot like mutta, guys. Sounds a lot like mutta. Anyway, we have a more serious discussion. So you've watched the Piers Morgan discussion with Mosab here?
I haven't really watched it. I have only watched part of it. So
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched 1 second of it. All I did was skim through it and cut out the commercials. But I pulled it up specifically on your recommendation. Here you're saying you didn't even watch it.
I didn't say I watched it. I sent you a message, and I can repeat the message again. I literally sent you the message. Mosab gave a very Islamophobic interview on Piers. Piers not in the Warner sense. Worth looking. That's all I said. I don't know. I watched parts of it, and I thought parts of it were good. Parts of it were just bad in the Piers Morgan style, and some parts of it I thought were problematic in a theological sense. And we can actually flesh it out as well. So it's probably worth looking at.
All right. We're gonna watch this on AP's recommendation as someone who hasn't watched it. What?
Why don't I hear you?
You don't hear me?
Oh, it's just me.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we had Merry Christmas all. Yes. We had, those guys were definitely at the Diddy parties. Mm-hmm. The baby oil. Well, at least we know what Warner will do for a Klondike bar. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I'd let an Eskimo bang me in the butt. I would even let a polar bear bang me in the butt if it's just got a Klondike bar out of it. Oh wow, wild stuff. All right, guys. So we're gonna watch the Piers Morgan interview with Mosab. When is this, from like yesterday or something?
Yesterday. I don't know.
All my troubles seem so far away, but I'd let the Illuminati bang me in my butt if I could join them. What? Suddenly. Okay, guys, we're going to watch Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan.
All right. Here we go.
Details are still emerging about the father and son who wrought terror on Bondi Beach. What's clear is that they were driven by extremist ideology and anti-Semitic hatred. The number of attacks against both Muslims and Jews living in the West has escalated sharply since the Gaza war began. There are legitimate fears that innocent Jewish people have been endangered by the actions of the Israeli state, just as many peaceful Muslims bore the brunt of racism after 9/11. And extremism will be a key concern even if the Gaza ceasefire holds, with many thousands of young people now grieving incalculable loss. My next guest knows more about most than radicalization. Mosab Hassan Yousef is the son of the Hamas founder and was an Islamist militant till his defection to Israel. And he joins me now. Mosab, welcome back to Uncensored.
Hang on. Someone pointed out. Yeah, this is someone pointed out the picture here. AP, that's your buddy here.
Piers always knows how to give the most ridiculously wrong and dumb introduction to things.
Here I am, blah, 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 blah. Islam is great. It's the greatest thing in the world. But, we've treated Muslims so horribly that it's bound to lead to extremism.
And just now after the attack on Jews, where lots of Jews have been killed, of course, unfortunately, we also see a great rise in the attacks on Muslims. Where, man? Why do you have... Anyway.
Hi, Piers. Good to see you.
Just first of all, your reaction to this appalling terror attack in Sydney.
Your reaction to this breaking news of the Warner saying that he's willing to get banged in his butt to join the Illuminati. That'd have been legend status. Piers dropped the ball. I mean, perfect opportunity. Sad.
Well, this is horrible. This is the outcome of 2 years of hateful indoctrination, demonizing the Jews, dehumanizing and delegitimizing Israel. What we were expecting. This has been a jihad campaign against the Jewish minority, and most people are in denial. It started on October 7, and actually it started way before October 7. But instead of understanding Israel's position, that
Israel's position. It's not the Warner's position, namely face down, butt up. That is the Warner position. Okay.
Had no choice but to fight and eliminate Hamas. The world accused Israel of committing genocide. Then so many false narratives were built on that theory that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. And that led to the hatred against the Jewish people. It led to the Sydney attack, to Manchester attack. And it will lead to more attacks. Many times I said falsehood will eventually lead to violence. False narrative of occupation, of genocide, of ethnic cleansing. Things actually don't exist in reality. There is a tragedy in Gaza. Nobody is celebrating this tragedy in Israel. No Israeli politician or citizen wanted to go into Gaza. It's not a fun trip. It's not a walk in the park. Israel, after the atrocity of October 7, had to send its best men to die in Hamas booby traps where they cannot even differentiate combatant from civilian, where the terrorists, jihadists, used their own people as human shields. So the outcome has been catastrophic. We understand this. But the world, instead of understanding Israel's position, what they did, they have been accusing Israel. They have demonized the Jewish people. And now they want to go after, in a Jewish hunt, after the Jewish people worldwide. And nobody's stopping them. They're going unchecked. What did they mean when they said globalize the intifada?
That for me is the that globalized the intifada. We've mentioned it multiple times, guys. It's come up over and over again. But the last intifada, like 2005 or whatever, 2004, 2005, it was just a series of like suicide attacks against Jews. And when you say globalize that, what do you mean? You're saying just do that globally, attack Jews everywhere. And you had all these people on college campuses chanting, globalize the intifada, globalize the intifada, globalize the intifada. Then someone goes and does it. And oh, what's this got to do with that? What's this got to do with us? It's just weird stuff.
And they say, no, it's not a bad thing, man. Intifada just means uprising, so it just means like uprising, you know? No, that's not what it is. It is. We don't just mention a certain concept and then say, well, the meaning of the word just means uprising. So
that's called the etymological fallacy.
Yeah, it refers to a specific thing, and the intifada, within the context of Palestinianism, refers to the first intifada and the second intifada, both of which were brutally violent, brutally destructive, brutally anti-human, brutally even against their own civilians and others. People were blowing themselves up in the streets. People were throwing Molotovs into school buses. Nothing was safe. That is what the intifada is. That would be just like saying, oh, Holocaust just means, I don't know, like, you know, burnt offering, trouble.
Yeah. So that'd be like the Warner saying, oh, intifada just means uprising, like when the Illuminati's around me and they get an uprising in their pants. That's all it means, man. An uprising in the Illuminati's pants when they see me face down, butt up. The position. Oh my goodness. Hey, I said no jokes about that, guys.
Dude, this is a serious topic, man.
Yeah, we're talking about some serious stuff. Look, Pierce is serious. Mosab is serious. We need to be serious.
Beginning. They triumphed on October 8th. They celebrated the atrocities against civilians. And since then, they have been saying, globalize the intifada. What did they mean by globalizing intifada? It means taking it to Sydney, take it to New York, take it to LA.
Obviously.
Just the other day, the FBI exposed a plot targeting Los Angeles for plans to attack simultaneously at New Year's Eve.
I'm not going to do it.
And they are affiliated with the pro-Palestine. They are not jihadists. They are not Muslims. They are leftists. But their ideology now is free Palestine and free Hawaii. This is what the FBI found with those guys. So the hateful indoctrination does not go in void, Piers. This is what we need to understand.
So here's the question I have for you, because you know a lot about this issue. You know both sides of the issue. You've lived on both sides of the issue. Here you had in
the Warner's been on both sides of
Sydney a situation where a father and son had clearly become radicalized. They'd been in Australia for number of years since the early 2000s in the case of the father, seemingly living normal lives in the communities. One slight red flag with the son a few years ago, which the authorities, perhaps wrongly as it's turned out, concluded was not serious enough to warrant further investigation about who he was associating with. And then they become full-blown ISIS, banners in their car, and they go and attack any Jewish people they can target. But we also saw a Muslim go in and display extraordinary courage in stopping one of these assassins, and for his trouble getting shot up, and is now in hospital recovering, thankfully. And it raises, I guess, the complexity of this, which is there are 2 billion Muslims in the world, and there are 15 million Jews. So a massive disparity in the numbers there. But people keep telling me,
Now pause.
a lot.
Pause.
Well, we didn't
So here's
hear
the
what
thing,
people keep telling him.
Now here's the thing. The terrorist, right? What's his name? Anwar. No, not Anwar. What's his name again? So that terrorist, the shooter, he was a follower of an Islamist preacher in Australia, who is known to have been affiliated with the Islamic State, and who is very well known to the Australian authorities and Australian intelligence and all that to directly radicalize and preach all kinds of active jihadism to his followers. The guy, the attacker, Mr. was known to have been a follower of that imam at some point, and was known to also, throughout his life, follow teachings of jihadists. The Australian government, of course, didn't care about it. They didn't do anything about it. They do step in sometimes if somebody commits something illegal, right? But they generally don't really keep a close watch on people preaching Islam. Let's just say it, okay? It's Islam. It's not radical Islam. It's not Islamism, of people actually preaching Islam, preaching active Islam to people. So you have an imam here in Australia who preaches to people that that they should be prepared to fight, that they should be prepared to take up arms, that they should be prepared to go out there and fight for Allah against the kuffar, against the disbelievers, primarily against the Jews and against the Christians and all the others. That the time will come when they should stand up and fight for Allah. The Australian government, like the other European or Western governments, which are collectively kind of retarded, think, oh yeah, let's just keep an eye on them and just watch them, and as long as they don't do anything illegal, there's nothing we can do about it. Well, if you wait for them to do something illegal, what you get is terrorist attacks like this. So the solution would be, I'm sorry to say this, but the solution should be, or a path to the solution should be, for Western governments and Western people themselves shouldn't be hopeless and shouldn't be inactive about this. They should propose these policies and should vote for them. It should be to impose severe restrictions on the establishing of new Islamic places of worship, or severe restrictions on the establishing of new Islamic communities where Muslims preach and worship. A focus on the reducing of numbers of Islamic organizations and Islamic places of worship. A clear focus on people who preach jihadism. Any preacher who just has a hint of preaching something like get ready to fight should be immediately locked up and possibly deported. There should be no tolerance for this kind of stuff. Western nations should stop being stupid and should start having some balls, should immediately crack down on any hint of jihadism, any hint of Islamic supremacy, which is Islam itself, and should lock people up and deport them immediately. Do not wait for acts. Do not wait for terrorist attacks. If a preacher in a mosque says, we have to get ready to fight for Allah, and or if he just even says, and the time will come when we will fight the Jews and the Christians, boom, go in there, raid them, lock them up, shut down the mosque, say, get the hell out of here, don't ever come back. This is what Western governments should do if Western governments had some balls. You know, Tucker Carlson is one of those sellout bastards who nowadays go around and say and want to explain to us that Qatar is a great ally to us. That Qatar is our greatest ally. We mentioned it yesterday during the live stream. What Qatar does is Qatar directly bans and forbids the public display of crosses, and we have these traitors like Tucker Carlson come to us and explain what a wonderful country Qatar is. All right. If they're so wonderful, how about we in the West act a little bit like them and start at least, 1% like them, and start imposing some measures on Muslims and on Islam? Start it, and then see the problem solved, the problem of terrorism.
So two things here. One, words can eventually lead to actions. So this is true of globalize the intifada. You got all these people chanting it, globalize the intifada, globalize the intifada, globalize the intifada. What is that? What does that actually mean? It means start attacking Jews everywhere on the entire globe, not just in one area. And then AP's pointing out that what's being preached in the mosques, hey, you know, we're kind of weak right now, so we should be preparing, and then eventually we will launch our attacks and so on. I don't know. When people are telling you this stuff, maybe believe them. Maybe believe that they actually mean what they're saying and take it seriously and so on. Two, I don't think Pierce realizes how terrifying what he just said should be to people, right? Because he's saying it like, he's saying, you know, it's complex. So you had a Muslim hero and you had these guys. But when he's describing those guys, you know, apart from one, you know, aside from one little red flag, these guys weren't on anyone's radar. These guys just are officially living completely normal lives. You would never think they're a threat to anyone. In fact, if you saw one of these guys and think, hey, I think these guys are a threat, you'd be called an Islamophobe. There's no reason to not trust these guys. And then they went and killed a bunch of people. Okay, so you mean just like guys that seem completely normal and they seem like they have no intentions of wiping anyone out, might just jump out and go on a killing spree. And that they can actually be either they're really quickly radicalized or they were always like that and they're good at covering it up. But either way, you would not notice these guys. You could watch these guys and work with them and so on. You think, hey, what nice guys, what nice guys. And the next day they're out there slaughtering people in the name of Allah for ISIS. Well, what's that mean? It means you might have a ton of these guys, Pierce. It means you've probably got a ton of guys like that right there with you in the UK who are just waiting for the opportunity to go on a killing spree. And you're defending it. It was because you get, we got the hero. We got the hero. I'm interested in how Mosab is going to respond to this because I've been responding to it in a couple live streams, pointing out when those two terrorists, father and son, went on a killing spree, I can tell you a ton of things that from the Muslim sources and from what people have been chanting that lead to that sort of thing. When you're talking about a hero deciding, hey, I'm going to go save a bunch of people, we don't know that he was actually like, oh, I'm going to save the Jews versus, hey, this guy's going to kill a bunch of people and I'm just going to go tackle him. But assuming his goal was, hey, I want to save all the Jews who are being killed right now, I can't think of one passage, Quran or Hadith, that would give you the idea that that's what you're supposed to do. So two of the guys are actually following Islam. One guy isn't. And so what if you wanted to say this is a complicated situation, you'd say it like this. You'd say, yeah, you have all these teachings that call for violence, call for killing Jews, call for violently subjugating the world in Islam. But you also have people who don't follow that stuff. And they still consider themselves Muslims, even though they're not following it. And therefore, you've got a really complicated situation because if you just go after Muslims, how do you just get the jihadis and not the people who aren't actually following what it says? So you could call that a problematic situation, but Islam is still the problem in that situation. And Pierce refuses to acknowledge that Islam is the problem. But maybe Mosab here is going to break it down for him. Let's see.
A lot of Muslims agree with these Islamists. A lot of Muslims share this feeling, to which my instinctive response is, well, if that is the case, if even you had 10% of the world's Muslims who felt that way, that's 200 million people. So there would be these atrocities happening all the time, and they're not. And in fact, I would go further and say that about 80 to 90% of all the victims of Islamist terrorism are fellow Muslims, right? So it's not as straightforward.
This dope. He said, if you knew why, Piers, why are so many Muslims the victims of attacks by their fellow Muslims? Oh, it makes no sense. This makes no sense. It makes perfect sense. Muhammad said that he had been commanded to wage jihad not only against unbelievers, but also against hypocrites, people who are officially Muslims, but they're not following it properly. They're hypocrites. You are supposed to wage jihad against them too. When ISIS jihadis go kill a bunch of Shias, are they just killing a bunch of their random fellow Muslims? No, they're slaughtering people that they regard as hypocrites and apostates and everything else. That's who they're killing. And you know, it doesn't make sense. They're killing their fellow Muslims. It makes. How are you a journalist who's been interviewing people all these years and you still don't know like something that you could literally read one verse of the Quran and it would clear this up for you? It's Surah 9 verse 73. Pierce, Surah 9 verse 73. It's easy. It's easy to understand. But
shocking. Muslims kill each other.
Yeah, and that stupid comment. Well, if they took this jihad stuff seriously, then we'd see so many more attacks. People who know about jihad, we've seen the Sheikh Asim al-Hakim clip. You are not supposed to be waging jihad right now. Why? There are too many nations with militaries that are more powerful than you. Therefore, you're supposed to be preparing right now. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be preparing. There are times when you can wage terrorist attacks and so on, but as far as what the general Muslim population is supposed to be doing, according to Islam, is preparing. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now. And with the three stages of jihad, if you can't hope to win a physical confrontation with the unbelievers, you promote a message of peace and tolerance. If you're strong enough to fight defensive jihad, but not able to subjugate, then fight defensive jihad. Wait till someone else does something. You have a big violent reaction to it to warn them not to do that again. Then when you're actually the strongest force and you can subjugate people, then you subjugate the world. That's the pattern. So don't think because this guy isn't attacking you that he doesn't believe in jihad. If he actually understands about jihad and he's in the United States, he's not supposed to be slaughtering you. He's supposed to be preparing for you. Anyway, back to Pierce's brilliant insights.
Some people with their own agendas like to portray this issue. What do you feel about the reality here? How many of the Muslim population do you think share a hatred of Jews, for example? How many would have sympathy with Hamas or Hezbollah
Seems
or
like
the
a lot.
Houthis or ISIS or whatever it may be?
You hear this? How many? Notice now he's not saying how many people are going to go out and slaughter unbelievers in the name of Allah. He's saying what percentage of the Muslim population actually has a problem with Jews? Based on everything I heard for the past couple of years, it would seem to be most, unless the people who don't have a problem with Jews are just really, really quiet the entire time. Because it seemed pretty darn one-sided over the past couple of years as far as what they think about Jews.
You know, what is the reality here? Because if it was hundreds of millions, I would just assume the whole planet would be in flames all the time, and it's not. And I feel very strongly for Muslim friends of mine that I know, that every time one of these things happen, everyone wants to tar the whole religion with the same brush of extremism, which we don't do with other religions when people do it in, if they're extreme Christians or Hindus.
When you see an extreme, what do you mean by extreme Christian? A Christian who goes out slaughtering people? If you want to connect that to religion, chapter and verse, where? Where is that Christian commanded to go out and slaughter people in the name of Jesus? Where? I'd be interested in knowing. When you're talking about, what's the problem with Jews? Pierce, do you think that's not in their sources? Do you seriously think that's not in the Quran? Do you seriously not know that it's in the Hadith? Do you not know about Muhammad's command that Muslims have to wipe out Jews or they don't get their virgins in heaven? You're not familiar with any of this? You've had show after show after show after show for the past couple of years on this. You still don't know these things that would be the first thing you learn if you actually studied the issue? Gosh, what a dope, man. It's just like
Dude.
willful ignorance from all these guys. This is not
see all
complicated
those-
stuff.
Don't you see all those radical terrorist Christian attacks all the time everywhere, man? I'm so sick of it. Every day, every single day, I turn on the TV and there is another radical Christian terrorist attack. I'm so sick and tired of this, man.
Yep, my
So
my church just went on a killing spree the other day, man. They just slaughtered everybody in the name of Jesus.
I know. No, the other day I went to church and it's like, and they were just killing people again. It's like, I'm
Those
sick
extremist Christians. We've got extreme Christians.
So here's the funny thing. According to the statistics, according to the data, the vast majority of terrorism-related deaths related to religion are attributed to Islam. Over 85% of terrorism-related deaths related to religion are due to Islam. The majority of terrorism-related deaths in general are because of Islam. So Islam dominates terrorist attacks. Islam vastly dominates religiously motivated terrorist attacks. No other religion can come even close to Islam when it comes to the amounts of terrorist attacks in the world. So stop with this whole, when there's a Christian when there's a Christian attack, when there's Christian violence, there is no Christian violence. There is no Christian violence that is even worth mentioning here as a comparison. Be quiet, Piers.
Hang on.
Whatever it may be, it's not the same rule applied. So
it's not the same rule applied. It's the exact same freaking rule applied, Pierce. If someone's going out and killing it, is it actually coming from the ideology? Because keep in mind, you could have I used this example the other day. I think it was with Al-Fadi, but imagine a Christian like beats the crap out of his wife, and then a Muslim beats the crap out of his wife. If you wanted to say, hey, this may be a problem with the religion, the question is, okay, where are you getting that from? Where would the Christian be getting that from? So notice, you can have a Christian who beats the crap out of his wife. That would kind of just mean he's a dirtbag, not because he's getting that from Christianity. Guess what? You could have a Muslim who beats crap out of his wife and has no clue that Islam says you can do that. He could just be doing it just because he's an abusive dirtbag, right? But guess what? He can be doing it because of what his religion teaches. You can't be a Christian and actually get that idea from your religion. You can be a Muslim and get that idea from your religion. And so the idea, no, we're in Islam, we just connect it to the religion for some reason. We don't do that with everything else. You do it when there's actually a connection to the religion. That's when you do it. And here there is. Is there a connection between attacking Jews and what Muhammad taught? Yeah. And he still can't see it, no matter, I don't even know what the point is. I guess the point of like going on a show and talking is for other people, because there's no scenario apparently where Pierce ever understands anything anyone says about this topic. An idiot.
what do you feel about that?
First of all, speaking of a father and son.
Hang on. Pause. Statistics. According to CSIS, which is the Center for Strategic International Studies, in 2016 data, of all the terrorist attacks listed, the top 5 perpetrator groups were caused by Islamic extremist terrorist organizations. 99% of deaths from the top 5 perpetrator groups were by Islamic terrorist organizations. Between 2021 and 2023, according to the Global Terrorism Index, the deadliest groups were almost exclusively Islamist. So ISIS affiliates, Al-Shabaab, Taliban, JNIM. So around 70 to 90% or more of global deaths related to terrorism were Islamist terrorist organizations or simply Islamic terrorism. There are multiple other accounts, multiple other forms of research. Studies show that in the 21st century, over 95% of religiously motivated terrorist attack, of deadly religiously motivated terrorist attacks were Islamic. 95%, over 95%, and so on. Of most of the terrorist attacks committed in the world, over 60% are attributed to Islam. So even if you get out of religiously motivated terrorist attacks and in general analyze terrorist attacks of all different motives, Islam still dominates the market. If you look at deaths resulting from terrorism, over 90% are usually attributed to Islam. There is no other religious group that has this problem. We have this problem with Islam, which is why it is, of course, very easy. Let's say Islam doesn't permit terrorism. Let's say it has nothing to do with Islam. It is, of course, very easy for people to associate terrorism with Islam and to associate Islamic terrorism with Islam itself, right? It would be very, very easy to do, because what you see is that Islam dominates the market of terrorism. That's just what it does. And of course, if you go further, you will quickly understand and quickly see why. You will quickly see how Islam directly motivates, through its fundamental sources, the use of violence against different populations, including against Muslims. No other religious group does that. This is about Islam. It's not about Christianity. It's not about Judaism. It is about Islam.
Now, hang on.
Hang on.
I'm looking up right here. You said that the top global killers are all Muslim terrorist groups, but I looked it up, and right here we have ischemic heart disease. Now, when people die of heart disease, we don't say, "Oh, let's blame the ideology of heart disease." So, I mean, we're not even applying the same standard here. Stroke. We don't blame stroke.
Actually, Piers, actually, we do. We blame heart diseases for it. Similarly, we also blame Islam when Islam is the problem.
But hang on. Lower respiratory infections. We don't say, "Oh, look at the book. Look at the book of lower respiratory infections," and blame that.
Correct,
do we?
Piers. Correct, Piers, because we say it's actually the infection that is the fault. Just as with Islamic terrorist attacks, it is Islam that is the cause.
What about neonatal disorders? I haven't heard you say one word about neonatal disorders. You're sitting here talking about Islamic terrorist groups. Well, neonatal disorders, they kill even more people, and you don't blame them.
With neonatal disorders, the primary responsible force is neonatal disorders. But when it comes to Islamic attacks, it is Islam, Piers.
Hang on. All right. Let's hear Mosab's response.
Hang on.
First of all, speaking of a father and son, as you know, my father wanted me to follow his footsteps of becoming a Hamas terrorist, basically. And this is when I dropped that idea and I went against the interest of the family. On the other hand, I was born a Muslim myself. I studied Islam. I studied classic Arabic. I memorized huge portions of the Quran. I prayed to Allah 5 times a day. I was a devout Muslim. I was born in the mosque, literally in the mosque. I went to a Sharia school. I studied the Islamic law. And but at some point, when I realized that it was a dead end, that it was leading to more violence, and that nothing could satisfy the Islamic ambition, I had to drop that Islamic identity. By the way, speaking of this hero in Sydney, and I tell you from personal experience that this man, in that moment, he dropped all his identity. You think when he threw himself in the fire, he was thinking to himself, I am a Muslim or I am an Australian? He dropped his entire interest. He risked his life, his physical body, his future, and he jumped into the fire to stop the killer. At that moment, he was not a Muslim. He did not have any identity. He was pure potential, pure humanity.
Hey, AP, a quick hypothetical question.
Yes. Hang on.
Suppose
I ask questions. Hang on.
Suppose this attack had happened in Israel, and there was a couple jihadis.
Hang on. Lots of attacks happen in Israel. We covered all of them.
Suppose this 2 jihadis are about to attack a bunch of Jews there in Israel.
Hang on. Why jihadis? Why jihadis? There are also Christians who commit violence.
And that a Muslim worker from Gaza went and stopped it, tackled one of the dudes, stopped him from killing as many people. And then, he was hospitalized. And then he went back to Gaza. Do you think he'd receive a hero's welcome for stopping that terrorist attack?
No, he would be treated as a traitor and possible collaborator.
Hang on. You don't know. They may give him a ticker tape parade.
No, Piers, because we have multiple examples of people being simply suspected of wanting to prevent terrorist attacks and who are then publicly executed, including beaten with sticks, thrown at with rocks, and finally shot in their faces or their chests and brutally murdered in the streets of Gaza while people celebrate and shout Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
That's what you said.
Hang on. Doesn't Allahu Akbar simply mean God is great?
Yes, now, other religions believe in God too, and they even believe God is great. So why aren't you blaming them?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Blame them. It's different standards, applying different rules. Why different rules for Muslims? Hang on.
I believe in God. I believe in God.
I believe in God. I even believe that God is great.
Are you saying I'm a terrorist? Hang on.
This is what we need to see. And after that, people labeled him a Muslim. Why? Because they have guilt. And especially the same crowd that has been demonizing the Jews and calling to slaughter the Jews, those are the ones who found opportunity to identify with heroism. They want it to be heroism when it's convenient, when it suits their narrative. But they did not see the other side.
He said not
the killer, the embodiment of evil who was shooting civilians. They should actually identify with the other side.
What?
You know, it's funny. So there are many people who say like, "Oh, it was a Muslim who was the hero. A Muslim stepped in.
The Muslims are always heroes."
But there were 3 Muslims in this act. Of those 3 Muslims, 2 were terrorists and 1 was a hero who prevented the attack. So
66% were terrorists.
So 2 out of 3 Muslims were terrorists.
Hey, you know the Meatloaf song, man. You know the Meatloaf song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, man.
So if we want to go by that logic, 2 out of 3 Muslims there were terrorists. What are we going to do with that?
You should make a parody of Meatloaf's 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but make it 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's a good point.
Like if one's a hero, and the other 2 are terrorists. Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I shall do it.
With the dark side, because this is the actual manifestation of their hateful indoctrination over the last 2 years. They have celebrated October 7. Then they celebrated ballistic missile attacks on civilians in Israel, where they ran like... It was insane to see that celebration against civilians and the indiscriminate attack against civilians. And many of them, by the way, back in the day also celebrated suicide bombing attacks. So now the thing is the problem is not with the Muslims. The problem is with Islam itself, with jihad itself. And jihad is a unique concept only to the religion of Islam. You cannot find it in Christianity.
No,
you cannot find it in
but what I would
Buddhism,
say to that...
not in Hinduism.
Okay,
please just let me finish.
Okay.
It's important. Please let me finish. So the thing is...
How did he do? How does Mosab have this power over Piers? People have trouble shutting Piers up, man. He's like, hang on.
And people eventually get like frustrated and stop insisting. But Mosab is like, please let me finish. Please let me finish.
Please, Piers. I do this. Please, Piers. If you interrupt me, it means you hate Muslims. Just so you know. Are you interrupting me because I am Arab and I am Palestinian? Are you interrupting me because you hate Palestinians? Is that why you interrupt me?
No, I haven't said a thing. Go on.
The Muslims, the vast majority of Muslims, are peaceful people. They don't want violence. This is the human nature. The human nature is against violence. This is what makes us different than the animals. But the problem, when Muslims identify with Islam, they give cover to the jihadists. And in many cases, they identify with something they completely oppose. And this is the identity crisis within Islam. And this is why I say to many of those peaceful Muslims who identify with Islam, and they could be in the hundreds of millions, who don't even know the Quran, who don't know the Islamic law, who don't know that they are actually required for physical and financial and social jihad. If they don't understand it, if they haven't gone to a Sharia school like I did, they go identifying because they think this is their ethnicity, but it's not. It's a label slapped on them. And I think in a moment where they have to choose between the higher interests of humanity or some identity given to them by their parents, they have to choose the higher interests of humanity, the same way this hero, Ahmed, in Sydney did.
I have to say, and I've brought this up before, like the awesome thing about Mosab, nothing he's saying is like irrelevant or like a secondary point. He's always making like the most important point there. And what he just said there is, yeah, you have tons of Muslims who don't support this and don't want to go around killing people and so on. They're the ones giving cover to the people who do, right? In other words, if all of the Muslims were all following Muhammad's commands to violently subjugate the world, it would be very easy to see this as an extremely dangerous ideology that you have to crush. It would be very easy to see that. But when you have tons of like peaceful Muslims living normal lives, then you think, well, religion can't be all that bad. It can't be all that bad. So the problem can't be Islam. It's just, every ideology has its extremists and so on. So he's right on the money. Piers, you think Islam can't be the problem because you look around and see, nice Muslims who aren't hurting anyone. They don't realize that they're giving cover to the guys who are actually following Islam. And in other words, the fact that you have lots of peaceful Muslims doesn't make Islam more peaceful. It makes it more dangerous because you can't target it as the danger that it is. So anyway, rough problems, man.
So listen, what David just said is that whatever Mosab Hassan Yousef says is right. He always speaks correctly. He always says the right thing. Keep that in mind now.
Now, Mosab just stopped, and so Piers is going to say something, and I know it's going to annoy me. So I'll take a couple of super chats before Piers says something really, really stupid. Hang on. Read my super chat. I just did. My new argument for Islam is Mike Winger hates it, and anything that Mike Winger hates couldn't be that bad. Refute this airtight argument. Well, what makes you think that when Mike Winger says he hates something, he actually hates it and is not just trying to manipulate you? Explain that. I'd like to suggest reacting to this great analysis on YouTube from Sydney to Kashmir, the psychology of the Muslim majority. You seen that, AP?
No, haven't seen that.
I'll check it out. We'll see how many people watched it.
If people watch it, then it means it must be good.
Yes, people don't watch crap. They watch good stuff. That's extremely valuable. Some people will choose the cow. Other will choose the Illuminati and do butt stuff to get it. If I have to choose between 1 million Muslims and a cow, I would choose the cow. And the Warner, if I have to choose between getting banged in my butt and not getting banged in my butt, I would choose getting banged in my butt.
I will choose the butt.
If Illuminati have to choose between my butt and some other butt, they should choose my butt. Just finished my Lego Christmas train. It's not the same as Warner's train. But just finished my Lego Christmas train in time for Christmas. Couldn't have done it without David's long-winded videos. Thanks for the support, guys. That's why we're here, to help you build Lego stuff. Hey, AP, make a song to the tune of Rock the Casbah by The Clash and call it Rock the Kaaba.
I don't remember how that song goes. I have to listen to it.
Sorry, I don't like it. Dun, 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 dun. Rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. By order of the Prophet. Islam is a waste of time. Mosab should warn about the dangers of winglings, a much larger threat.
I'm thinking of rather Rock the Kaaba, but that'll be a different thing.
Rock the Kaaba, rock the Kaaba. More Warner butt jokes, please. David has me weak. This was correct about the danger of winglingism.
Rock the Kaaba.
And at the end of the day, the Wingalings will work with the jihadis. Pierce's entire take is just the Norm Macdonald joke. It is. Imagine, Norm Macdonald makes it a joke, and Pierce is like, this has become my official ideology forever. Piers Morgan doesn't stand a chance against him. That is true. We just found out that the Australian PM Albanese was a Free Palestine activist and that he participated in a 2000 Free Palestine protest speaking, condemning Israel. He actually met Arafat in 1998. Well, that would make sense of how your leaders react to stuff now. Mowing grass doesn't work. Let's ban the grass. That's true. These governments that appear to care so much about hate speech seriously need to read the Quran. Start with 47.4, 8.12, 867, 9.5, 929, 434, 424, and 65.4 just to start with. Yeah, the UK is coming out with its new definition. So they had their definition of Islamophobia, and that was just a disaster, and it was really stupid. And now they're trying to come up with a definition for anti-Muslim hatred or something like that. Still got to make a video, or we need to do a live stream about that because it's just...
Dude, I never listened to this song. This is the dumbest song I've ever heard in my life.
What, Rock the Kasbah?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? They're making fun of Islam, man.
I don't care.
No, the only thing I would like to see just once from these British politicians and so on is just the concept of consistency. If you're going to say, hey, anyone who says this about this group of Muslims is an anti-Muslim bigot, it's like, okay, look at what the Quran says about every other group. Just take that into account. And look at what the Muslim preachers are saying about other groups that they're getting from the Quran. Take that into account. Why? Why can't you take your rule and apply it to Muslims? And that's the problem. See, if you're saying here's a rule about what you're allowed to say and you don't apply it to the Quran and you don't apply it to Muslims, you've just made a two-tier society. So come up with a rule and be consistent with it. You can either say, hey, we don't care. If we don't care what Muslims are saying, if we don't care what the Quran says about other people, then by golly, we can't condemn these people for saying something about Islam. We can't do it. We'd be hypocrites. So do that. Or if you're going to say, hey, we condemn you for saying these mean things about these groups, then condemn the Quran and condemn Islam and condemn the preachers who are saying the same things. Again, and this stuff happens in real life. We all saw it. We all saw Ali Dawah saying to the apostate prophet, he's talking to an actual person, when we get the power, you're dead. We're going to slaughter you in the name of Allah. And we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching you be executed for leaving Islam. He's saying that. No one there in the British government has a problem with it. The British police do not have a problem with it. He's a Muslim. He gets to say these things. If anyone said that about him, they'd be arrested. So this is what we see. We see the formation of a completely hypocritical two-tier society with different rules for Muslims and for everyone else. Really, really dumb stuff.
Are you still talking about the same super chat?
No. Yup, it's not radical or extremist. It's your average garden variety Islam. Spain had similar issues after... No, it didn't. That was the golden age, man. No comment there, but thank you. Why don't Christians put up a bunch of billboards about the dilemma? Muhammad is Muslim areas. About the dilemma and Muhammad in Muslim areas like Dearborn or Minneapolis. Merry Christmas, AP and D-Wood. Yeah, that would be good.
Merry Christmas.
That'd be a good idea. We should fund some of those. Finally, AP and Mike Winger collab. Ha ha, oh, so funny. Expectations are high. Islam's sexual orientation is homosexual. These guys are really Muslims ready to zut. Warner is. Please talk about the recent pogroms against Hindus in Bangladesh and the attack on Bondi Beach. This entire, this discussion with Pierce here is about Bondi Beach and the implications of it. Hi, David. On a live stream the other day, you mentioned Randy and what happened to him. Is there a way for viewers to send him a letter of encouragement? Thousands of letters would be based. I have occasionally given his contact info to someone who contacts me, and so I don't want to post it because I could ask him, but don't know if he wants everyone, the entire world, contacting him. Hi, guys. Missed you. So confusing as I hear people say Islam doesn't condone violence, etc. Seems like great ignorance amongst Muslims or just lies. So it's a combination. There's tons of ignorance and there's tons of lies. About da'wah, there's a popular Arabic saying, the goal justifies the means, and that seems to be the standard. I have a fever over 39. Please pray for me. What's 39? That's a different system. Hang on. 39 degrees.
103, I think.
Oh, that's 102. Okay, that could be worse, but yeah, 102 is pretty rough. 102 is pretty rough.
You're supposed to pray, man.
The closest Christian, everyone can pray, man. The closest Christian equivalent.
Why didn't you? You're supposed to lead the prayer.
The closest Christian equivalent to Islamic terrorism is people who target abortion doctors, which happens like, what, once a decade? Yeah, and usually when you look them up, they're not even Christians. They're from some other group, but people say, oh, they're attacking abortion clinics, so they must be Christians and so on. All right, we've got more super chats, but let's watch some more of this.
I think it's a really interesting point because I think you're right. In the moment, he wasn't making, I suspect, calculations about who the intended targets were, who the aggressors were, or anything. He was just seeing people getting shot and had a chance to try and stop it. And that was the act of courage. But again, I come back to the fact that we tend to tar 2 billion people with...
No, we don't. When you do something and it's actually connected to the ideology, then we condemn you for following the ideology, and we condemn the ideology for telling you to do it. No, we don't blame 2 billion people because we don't have 2 billion people all following it.
Sense that they're all in on this kind of thing. And obviously, as you just said, the vast majority of Muslims are peace-loving people who want nothing to do with this. And the vast majority of victims of Islamist extremism are Muslims.
Because the Quran commands it, you giant clown.
So
Plus,
what do we do?
Who cares if people have this misconception, or if people want to make it about Muslims or most Muslims or about all Muslims? I'm so sorry, but why in the world do we still have to be worried about this? Okay, nobody should be worried about this. Nobody should care about this. I don't want to point it out every single time that I talk about Islam. We shouldn't be pointing that out anymore. Nobody should care. Nobody should bother pointing out, oh, and by the way, we don't mean all Muslims. We don't mean most Muslims. No, most Muslims are peaceful. I don't care, man. Nobody should care. Seriously, do not care about this.
Yeah, and Pierce is the example of what Mosab just pointed out, that because they're not obeying what Islam teaches, that they're the cover. And Pierce is like, yeah, so how can we condemn the ideology when so many people appear? See, you're doing exactly what you just said.
About this going forward, you know, I can't make. There's no justification for what these people did. Obviously, it was hate-filled and
Islam, there is.
Specifically in this case at Jewish people. I completely understand why Jewish people around the world feel very scared about this kind of thing happening, particularly off the back of the rising tide of anti-Semitism in the last 2 years. It's been horrific to watch. And again, I think a lot of people are blaming Jewish people for the actions of the Israeli government, which some people support and other people think have gone way too far, and that has inflamed anti-Israeli sentiment, and people conflate Israelis with Jews and so on. And I think there's a lot of that going on too. So there's a lot of hatred going on generally, and it's generalized and it's sweeping. What do we do about this, Mosab? Like I say, you're in almost a unique position to try and offer a solution. What is the way out of this?
Muslims.
Oh, I can go ahead and tell you. Everyone learn the Islamic dilemma, and everyone learn a bunch of information about Muhammad and share it constantly, because we know the number one thing that causes Muslims to doubt Islam, learning actually what Muhammad did. When Muslims learn what Muhammad is like and not what they heard from their sheikhs and imams, a bunch of them leave Islam, or even if they remain Muslims, They might not have the confidence to go out and kill for it. If they're like, I don't know, maybe this guy's not a prophet. So there's that. And then learn the Islamic dilemma. That's the dawah blocker. That's the dawah blocker. And you definitely want to block dawah because you see what these guys are into.
Need to overcome their fear of hypothetical entities that don't exist. For example, Muhammad was, back in the day, was ahead of his generation. They were justifying killing baby girls, and Muhammad was against it. And he was persecuted because of that.
He wanted to rape them instead.
But also he did some aggressive things. He launched jihad against his opponents. And when it came to the Jewish communities of the Arab Peninsula, he wiped them out. And now there are hadiths, for example, in Islam, that calls for the annihilation of the Jewish tribe completely. And that's a hadith sahih. It's in the most trusted Islamic sources, and it's confirmed by all the Islamic scholars. Now the thing is, Muslims, it looks like they are incapable of rewriting these laws. Anyone who tried to criticize Islam gets accused with Islamophobia. I am one of them. I have been saying this for many, many years. And for the last 15 years, since the social media generation, many Muslims have been radicalized because they have access to radical platforms. And now the thing is, instead of trying to help the moderate Muslims to overcome their fear and criticize and try to reform Islam, what we...
Why are you interrupting this powerful point he's
making? I want to say something here. Now, the whole narrative that he just briefly mentioned, Muhammad being ahead of his time and speaking against killing young daughters because he wanted to have sex with them instead. So it's not the main point of the argument here, but the thing is, so Mosab Hassan Yousef might adopt the narrative and might actually genuinely believe the Islamic narrative here. And when you think about it, it could appear as if it is it is one of those genuinely good aspects of Islam. But so, according to the scholarship of the on the topic, I talked to one of my favorite scholars on the topic, who is Robert Hoyland. I should probably talk to him again sometime in the future. But even according to other scholars who are actually kind of who actually view Islam favorably, non-Muslim scholars like what Patricia Crone and some of the others have regularly pointed out that the Islamic narrative that the pre-Islamic Arabs had this whole almost hobby of killing their daughters, that it is probably severely exaggerated.
Oh, it has to be severely exaggerated.
That it was probably severely overinflated in retrospect. Rich rejected a dark, moral behavior or dark moral environment onto the pre-Islamic Arabs, because this is what people tend to do. For example, when we talk about the Norse people, the Scandinavian pre-Christian population, there is a lot of stuff that is said about them that comes from later legendary sources, and those later legendary sources like to ascribe some really, really bad, messed up stuff about them, and they weren't actually that bad. They were bad, but they weren't that bad. So people tend to do this whole thing where they like to a little bit demonize and vilify the prior societies. And with Islam, this was of course very, very favorably done, because Muhammad was in an environment where he vilified the previous or the polytheists in his environment. The Muslims vilified the polytheists in their environment, so they described them in the worst ways possible, and they very, very likely severely exaggerated the extent to which the pre-Islamic polytheists were killing their daughters. What did exist is what you also learn in general anthropology, is that different societies throughout time that didn't adopt values such as that it is absolutely evil to kill your own children did tend to give up their daughters and bury them if they saw no value in their daughters. In pre-Islamic Arabia, if they didn't have Christian or Abrahamic values, it was probably some of these people who didn't have riches, who didn't have the means to survive in a barren, hostile, dry environment. Some of them probably did resort, not with celebration, not with willingness, but out of despair, to burying their own girls because they saw no value in them, because they thought, oh no, we have a daughter. She can't help us. She can't help us survive. She can't contribute anything to us. She's just going to be a burden to us. She's just going to bring suffering to us, and we're going to bring suffering to her. We have to get rid of her. So that was kind of their form of abortion, right? Some of them probably did engage in such a thing, but Islam severely, brutally exaggerated the role that female infanticide played in the pre-Islamic Arab society.
I noticed, because this is one of the arguments for Islam that was popular in the early 2000s and so on, but I noticed the inconsistency very quickly, because they would say, so many people in Arabia were just tossing out their daughters. No one wanted daughters. They just killed them all. And then later on, you're talking about, hey, why'd Muhammad allow 4 wives? It's because there were so many more women than there were men that the men had to marry multiple wives. Like, wait a minute. How are there so many more women than men around that the men all had to marry 2, 3, 4 wives? If wives were so scarce because no one is keeping their daughters.
Yeah.
So something's not working out here. Math's not working out.
Fishy.
To radical platforms. And now the thing is, instead of trying to help the moderate Muslims to overcome their fear and criticize and try to reform Islam, what we have been doing, we have been censoring every attempt to criticize Islam.
That's true.
They placed a death sentence over me. I guarantee you that the vast majority of Muslims, they don't want me dead. But according to the Islamic law, because I changed my religion or because I renounced Islam, there is a death sentence over my head. So the Islamic law says, Muhammad precisely say, whoever changes his religion, kill him.
You did say that.
This is the death sentence that my father validated over my head because I renounced the Islamic violence and the Islamic jihadism. So now, many people don't want to be in my position. It's not a good position.
Yep.
It's better than the Warner's position. Face down, butt up, surrounded by the Illuminati like Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut.
Yep.
What if the Al-Zut were actually the Illuminati?
They were probably.
Because they would be shunned from their families or they would be shamed by the society. They could be labeled as traitors. And these are very dangerous labels that most people don't want to have to go through. But the end of the day, especially Muslims in the West, instead of going actually against the values of the West or exploiting the values in the West to just criticize the West, they should be doing the opposite. They should be trying to help reform Islam. Islam was written in the 7th century. Judaism also was written thousands of years ago, but the Jews were able to reform it. There are violent verses in Judaism, but it has been reformed. It has been integrated. And today in the 21st century, we cannot take ideology or a belief system from the 7th century and try to force it into the 21st century.
But there are people,
so
Mosab.
this is the responsibility.
Yeah, there are people who...
I like how he's, and here's what's amazing. You could hear Piers 6 months from now, and none of this will have sunk into his brain. Mosab,
but hang on,
he just made the point again. He said, "Hey, you got plenty of Muslims who don't want me dead. The religion calls for me to be dead. The religion calls for me to be killed, and there are Muslims who actually want me to be killed because that's what Muhammad said. Now the problem is, all these Muslims who don't want me killed." They don't want to criticize the rule. They don't want to criticize and call out the rule and say that the rule is wrong, because then they'll be in trouble with all these other guys. So we got a problem here. None of that will enter Pierce's brain the way Illuminati. Sorry.
Say that.
But hang on.
The Quran,
hang on.
for example,
I know Muslims.
It gets interpreted and spun deliberately to look like it's inciting violence.
Verses say, fight those who do not believe in Allah, and people think that, that means fight those who do not believe in Allah, whereas there are Muslims who don't pay any attention to it, so who knows what it's saying. And as far as the command that Muhammad said, if anyone leaves his Islamic religion, kill him, there are some people who think that means if anyone leaves his Islamic religion, kill him, whereas other people ignore it. So the problem isn't the book, the problem is the people. Stupid.
Does anybody here believe that Piers Morgan could be taken seriously as an authority to comment on religious scripture and how it should be interpreted?
Oh, gosh. What's wrong with this dude, man?
By those who want to propagate violence. In other words, they twist the meaning of the text.
There are people twisting the meaning of, if anyone leaves his Islamic religion, kill him. They're twisting the meaning by going with what it actually says and not reinterpreting it to make themselves feel better.
Hang on. I know Muslims. I have a
Muslim friend. He is not going around killing people who leave Islam.
I know a Muslim. I just went to the store. I went to the shop.
I saw a Muslim.
I
had a Muslim drive me in a cab the other day. He didn't kill me.
I went to an Uber, and the guy said I would kill you if you were in an Islamic state, but we're not in an Islamic state, so he didn't kill me.
So see? It's a religion of peace.
How do you spin it to make it look like it wants to kill us all?
To suit their violent intent. And, the Bible, I'm a Christian, the Bible's full of violence, obviously. But the Quran, comparative to the Bible, is nowhere near as violent.
You're an idiot, Piers.
Dumbass.
Piers,
Sorry.
You're an idiot. Guys, I hate to... The Bible is covering a long, long time. The Quran is covering 23 years. 23 years. So if you want to say, like all the wars with, Moses and Joshua and David and so on, that, all these centuries of violence somehow, adds up to more than the violence that occurred in the 23 years of the Quran, you can grant that. If you're talking about what they actually call for, if you read the Bible from beginning to end and then you ask, what am I commanded to do now? You are commanded to love your neighbors yourself, to love your enemies, to, if as far as it depends on you, to be at peace with everyone. You're commanded those kinds of things. If you read the Quran from beginning to end and you say, what am I commanded to do now if I follow this? It depends on where you live. If you're in a place where you can't hope to win a physical confrontation with unbelievers, then promote peace and tolerance. If you're able to violently subjugate them, you're in that position. You violently subjugate the entire world if you can. That's what you're commanded. So what they're actually calling for, Pierce, what they're commanding. I mean, put it this way. Any history book on World War II has more violence in it than the Bible or the Quran. You're talking tens of millions of deaths. Any history book on World War II has more violence. That's very different from promoting or calling for violence. Very different things there. Pierce doesn't get it, even though he's a super smart guy who has a show.
Hang on, David. Wow. In Daniel 6:16, it says that the king gave the order and brought Daniel and threw him into the lion's den, which is a very, very violent thing. So as you can see, there's clear violence described here.
Well, the Bible says you throw everyone to the lions.
I can find such violence in the Quran. So clearly, the Bible is more violent.
It's just a fact. But it gets twisted and used in a sort of propaganda way, as if somehow it is an entreaty of violence. Isn't that part of the problem? That I agree with you about social media, that social media is radicalizing people all over the place. And they may be being educated via social media in a very deliberate, targeted way by those who are on the extremist edge of this stuff, who are saying, look, the Quran makes it crystal clear, you have to do this, and this. Whereas most moderate Muslims I've talked to say that is not what it means at all. It's being twisted and used in a way to encourage violence.
And I trust my moderate Muslims.
Yeah, Pierce, I'm going to break this down for you, Pierce. Islam is is not, has never been, and never will be defined by your moderate Muslim friends. Islam
But it
is
will be
not,
defined.
has never been, and never will be defined by violent Muslims or by peaceful Muslims. It's defined by Allah and Muhammad. That's who defined it. And yes, they do call for violently subjugating the entire world until all religion is for Allah alone. Muhammad said, I've been commanded to fight people until they say there is no God but Allah and Muhammad. But people take that out of context and think it actually means what it says. Why would they do that? Why would they twist it? Why would they lie about it?
Hang on. Then why does my good moderate Muslim friend not kill people?
Piers, you remember how Mosab was pointing out that the Muslims who don't want to kill people, they actually end up being the cover for the ideology, and for the ones who do want to kill people, you're part of the problem, Piers. You help cover for Islam as well. Islam calls for your violent subjugation, and you're here defending it like an idiot.
Hang on. Then why does my friend not kill me?
Your friend isn't supposed to kill you. One, they're not at that point in your society. Two, why would they want to kill you when you're helping them?
Well,
why would the jihadis want to kill you right now when you're helping them?
Well, what if a Christian kills me? Then why don't we say it's the fault of Christianity?
Good point. Valuable point.
Okay, so here is what I think. I think for all those, the peaceful Muslims who don't choose violence and still identify with Islam without understanding it, first of all, I invite them to study what jihad actually means. And many try to explain jihad.
Jihad is just a peaceful inner struggle to go to the gym.
It just
I heard that from my moderate Muslim friend.
I'm struggling right now. In fact, I struggled earlier. I had a very big meal, and I went to the bathroom, and I sat there for a while, and I struggled for quite a long time. It was painful, to be honest.
And think about the water. He's willing to struggle to join the Illuminati.
So why is it a bad thing?
He's not killing them. Just going to let them bang him in his butt. That's a struggle. Easier for some than others, but just following the example of Muhammad.
As inner struggle.
In the bathroom.
But it's not. In the Quran, it's obvious. Jihad is a fundamental pillar in the Islamic belief system. And it's jihad where a Muslim is required to sacrifice himself or herself, if necessary, to establish a khilafah. A khilafah is a global state.
I know about
It's not the Islamic State that we saw these ugly images coming out of Syria and out of Sydney. It's a global Islamic state where there is only one Islamic ruler. Islam does not believe in diversity or multiplicity. They don't believe in other religions. Actually, what it really means when Muslims say, La ilaha illallah, it means literally there is no divinity but Allah. This means cancellation of Judaism, of Buddhism, of Hinduism, of Christianity, of all other belief systems, and consider Islam as the only and final belief. Well, this is very, very dangerous, but this is the essence.
But that is rejected, isn't it? But
Muslims...
again, I come back to this. So in the United States, there are about 5 million Muslims and about 5 million Jews. In the UK, about 5 million Muslims and 250,000 Jews. So very different breakdown. But the reality is, in both countries, that in the majority of cases, you would say there's been pretty good assimilation of both those groups of people.
Yeah, really good assimilation in the UK. It's just awesome.
Hang on, what do you mean assimilate? Why do they have to assimilate? They have their own culture.
Into normal society in the United States and the UK. There have been some bad incidents, but there hasn't been, it's not like you've got thousands of people rampaging around all day, every day.
You're not supposed to, you stupid idiot. It's like he thinks, okay, either you're commanded to always be peaceful or you're commanded to always be violent. Most Muslims are just, they're not going out and being violent, so it must just be peaceful. Gosh. Pierce, you do what is in the best interest of the Muslim community wherever they are. If they're a small minority of the population, it's not in their best interest to go out and start fights because they'll be crushed. So you don't do it. You wait until your numbers grow, and then you can subjugate, which happens every single freaking time after they've grown to a certain portion of the population. How do you, as a journalist who keeps interviewing people on this and having it explained to you, not get it?
Hang on. Then why do you keep misrepresenting and spinning the verses of the Quran, which is just a book like anything else? I know a lot about Islam, and I don't know why you just mentioned Khalifa. She has nothing to do with this conversation. So why do you keep blaming Islam for all these things? I don't know.
Why do you keep blaming Islam for what it teaches? I wonder how many of us Muslim friends othernized. What the heck is othernized? I mean, organized? Organized protests against Hamas or spoke up about Qatar involvement with the October 7th attacks. Muslim friends live in a free country and are not extreme at all.
Why do you bring Qatar into this? Qatar is a beautiful country. It's a beautiful country where you can be whatever you want, unless you are a Christian.
Ask Tucker. If God could allow Hakikachu to live one day after that incest video, I'm guaranteed 100% eternal life. By the way, all preach the gospel as much as possible. That's a good general principle. We got defending a line. I got a strike on my channel because I quoted the Quran about Jews being made monkeys. Reading the Quran equals bad. Supporting it equals good. Hey, defending a lion. I hope you appealed that. And if you got... I'm hoping you appealed that and explained it. And if they rejected your appeal, try to message me. You need to contact Team YouTube on X, and we can help get their attention.
How about you to stop being Islamophobic? It's disgusting.
That works too. Found out from my YouTube recap, I'm in the top 0.4% of the viewers of Apologetics Roadshow. Well, that means you're super intelligent. As I watched 160 of your videos, D. Wood, all for the cause of Christ against Muhammad, I'll zut be upon him, Deus Waltz. Then you, sir, are on your way to changing the world. Anyone in the top 1% is super based. Christian theology gives you just war theory. Muslim theology gives you ISIS. Every crusade was in response to Muslim aggression and atrocities.
Hang on.
David, you, sir, are hilarious. That's true. Stop dividing the right with Islamophobia, gay Turk. Good point.
Hang on. I know gay Turks. They haven't killed anybody.
What's the Warner? Because he's gay, but he's not a Turk. His solution to all things is bang me in my butt. Off top, I will unite the world by letting everyone bang my butt. Off topic, but any of you looked into abortion statistics for Muslims? Westerners are under the assumption that Islam is anti-abortion and pro-life. Yeah, it's actually not. Their scholars generally have no problem with it before 4 months. They might have a problem with it later, but not before 4 months, because that's when they believe the soul enters the body, not the way the Illuminati enter the Warner's body. Why, man? Why do they make it so easy? Not how the Warner makes it so easy for the Illuminati, but think of the children. It's a good principle. Always think of the children. So you're saying Mike Winger is a secret Muslim.
What's important with abortion in Islam is our souls when they come into the body. At 4 months they come into the body. That's what the Quran. That's what Muhammad says. So, at that point, you shall no longer commit an abortion. But before that, you can do it. That's it.
So you're saying Mike Winger is a secret Muslim? Well, I'm not saying it, but yes, I am saying it. AP, rock around the clock tonight, but with the Kaaba.
Hang on.
We're gonna walk around. It's got you're off by a syllable. You could say cube. We're gonna walk around the cube tonight. We're gonna walk till broad daylight. We're gonna walk around the cube tonight. You could do that, man. That would work.
Hang on, that sounds stupid.
Piers seems to be displaying a cultural trend of toxic empathy. We seem to have a currency of who's the biggest victim, and it's so destructive. Yes, it is.
Hang on, are you saying empathy is a bad thing?
Yep, we're saying empathy is always bad. That's why it's better to be a psychopath. Which debate is more likely, Ben Shapiro versus Tucker Carlson or David Wood versus Mike Winger? Ben Shapiro versus Tucker Carlson. Mike Winger would never debate me. He knows he'd be exposed. After 2 years, Australia is banning the public usage of the phrase globalize the intifada. Apparently, after Sunday, it has become a dangerous phrase. That's interesting.
Hang on. Globalize, intifada. Intifada simply means uprising. So what's the problem with... It's because it's Arabic? It's pretty racist.
Yes, Pierce is the embodiment of a Norm Macdonald joke. Absolutely. And he made it his life.
Hang on, I'm not a joke.
Anti-Semitism is rising because people are conflating Jews with the Israeli government. Anti-Semitism is rising because people are conflating Jews with the Israeli government. Who, Pierce? Who is doing that? Be specific. Oh, yeah. Some people. Even if 1% of the 2 billion Muslims follow what the Quran tells them to do, that's still 20 million.
Now, hang on, but
Pierce
Pierce
still doesn't understand what it actually commands.
Hang on, but what if 1% of Christians follow what the Bible tells them to do?
D. Wood's Islamic green T-shirt. You see, he's a secret Muslim. It's actually this thing because it's Christmas, and my wife she got me this shirt and wanted me to wear it, so I'm being super nice. D. Wood's Islamic green shirt. When Mo is getting all zooted. Were they playing Sweet Home Alabama? Yes.
Hang on, what's wrong with
bang, 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 Muhammad in his butt, bang, 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 bang him in his butt. I'm late. Did I miss the saving of the cow? Yeah, he chose the cow. Look up Brigitte Gabriel back in 2014 on a panel and how she schools some Muslim students about peaceful Muslims. Yeah,
I've seen that a long time ago.
OAP, there is a butt plug behind you.
What's your problem, man? There's a lot of...
I think that's made for the Warner.
I was looking for home decor. This is advertised as home decor on Amazon. Produced by a Muslim Turkish company. It is... I'm not sure why you're conflating that with that, but it's clearly decor. You put it on a flat space. It looks exactly like this. I don't think it looks, maybe it does. I don't know, but it is just decor to look at it all the time, for Muslims to have in front of them, to look at all the beautiful things on this wonderful shape and to look at the names of Allah on it. It is home decor for a Muslim home. It has multiple purposes. It can be used for different purposes with Allah inscribed into it. It is beautiful. Stop hating.
You need to watch out because you're probably going to get an email from the Warner and he's going to be like, listen, if putting that in my butt will help you understand the names of Allah, I will do it. I'll prove it to you.
Oh, give me that. I want to have that. Tell me where you get that. Tell me where you got that from.
It will help me absorb the names of Allah. I want the names of Allah deep inside me. My little granddaughter, who's 2, has a new thing. She runs around the house pretending to be a train, but instead of choo choo, she says zut zut. Hey, you know what'd be funny if that can spread so much? Not like the Warner's butt cheeks, but if that can spread so far. If that can spread so far and wide that it actually eventually replaces choo-choo. And people eventually, when they're talking about the sound a train makes, they go, when the train comes by, zoot, 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 zoot. We got to do it.
It would be funny to take over a train and make them go, zoot, zoot.
That would be fun.
Hang on. Then why did my Muslim friend offer me his balloon knot? He thought I was part of the Illuminati.
Nice.
That's true. On David, really thanks for your work. You helped me zooted Islam so much. My neighbor is moving, and it's supposed to be a Muslim family. I can't wait. Got a Muslim family?
What is your name on David?
Mosab should have asked Piers who many of his Irish countrymen, men and women, were also peaceful. Yes, there was this group that caused major havoc. Yeah, there was. Let's see. Look up Islamic Dilemma by Matthias Tete Otumi. I'll check that out. Lots of Islamic Dilemma stuff. Also, Australia is now exercising their legal right to ban face coverings, including burqas. After 2 years, they all of a sudden realize the danger. What danger, man? Have they not listened to Piers Morgan? Let's hear more from Piers Morgan. He will refute the Australian government.
Committing terrible acts. In other words, it seems to me that the majority of Muslims in the US and the UK go about their lives integrated pretty well with the culture and society they live in and don't want to pursue acts of violence. And so I come back to the fact that if you take that across the world with 2 billion people, the number of extremists is very small. Otherwise, we'd be seeing a lot more of this stuff going on. So,
idiot.
Again, I don't know what the answer is here, but I do know that it's not a case that the majority of Muslims support this or want any part of it. And that's my problem with how when these incidents blow up, I go on social media and all I see is appalling Islamophobia. I also see a lot of anti-Semitism. I see a lot of hatred generally spewing around. But it just remains clear to me that the vast majority of Muslims do not want to be violent. And yet there is this perception amongst people that that's the inevitability.
Notice how Mosab actually shares information every time, and Piers just keeps saying the same stupid, idiotic nonsense over and over again.
Of a growing Muslim population is they want to take over the country, like in the UK, they want to take us over.
I mean, they're literally telling you they want to take over. And here's how it works, Piers. Here's how it works, Piers. You've got peaceful Muslims minding their own business, just working and so on. And then you got the Muslims who are like, we're going to keep expanding and growing until we take over. Eventually, if you get to where they have a massive percentage, it doesn't even have to be the majority. It just has to be enough to take over. And you guys will be so weak and cowardly that you won't stand against them. But all the Muslims who just mind their own business, they'll eventually be told, you need to get on board or you'll be a target too. And guess what? Most of them will get on board then. So, gosh, you're stupid.
And they want to instill the Muslim culture over all others, have their own legal system, their own rules, everything else. And I just don't see that.
That's what Islam calls for.
I see bits of that. I see their...
Piers, look at freaking history because it happens over and over and over again. And for some reason, whenever you're in a country, they're only 8%. They're not taking over the entire country. They're not taking over the country. Yeah, wait till they're 30%. Then maybe you'll see the problem, you giant clown.
Certainly some Muslims in the UK that feel that, but the vast majority do not seem to want that.
Exactly, and I don't blame you. I think your observation is accurate, and it is the truth. But the thing is, why identify with something that you completely oppose? Like, for example, Muslims who don't believe in jihad. It's very similar to meat eaters who identify as vegans. They are not vegans. And the Muslims who don't believe in jihad, basically, they are not Muslims. They are going against the Islamic law. They are going against all the Islamic...
Yeah, but that's the point.
The essence of Islam.
But Mosab,
it's not up to them.
Yeah, but hang on. That's the crucial point right there. So what your position is that if you follow the faith of Islam, then you automatically have to sign up to violence. Whereas from everything I've heard from my moderate Muslim friends, of which I have many...
Piers, if you're actually following Islam, you are supposed to be doing what is in the best interest of the Muslim community wherever it happens to be. What is in the best interest of the Muslim community
in the UK. It is to keep multiplying and not to get too much attention and not to generate too much hostility. Oh, that's what most of the Muslims are doing? Shocker. They're doing what Islam tells them to do. Shocker. Idiot.
Hang on. But David, okay, hang on, David. Hang on. I understand. I get it. But then why are most Muslims not violent?
Good point. Powerful point. I stand refuted. Islam is a religion of peace and tolerance, and it's defined by what Pierce's Muslim friends do.
Oh, so you agree that Islam is peaceful?
Mm-hmm. It is. I've seen the truth. Islam is not defined by the Quran and the Hadith. It is defined by Pierce's Muslim friends. That's how Islam actually works.
Hang on. Then why do most Muslims not commit terrorist attacks, and why do people think that Islam is violent?
Because people are stupid. They don't realize Islam is defined by Pierce's peaceful Muslim friends. That's what it says. You open the Quran, it says, Islam, don't read this book. Islam is defined by Piers Morgan's peaceful Muslim friends.
Oh, okay. All right. So my question to you is: you have seen both sides, and you obviously have gone through different things.
Well,
and you have had
both sides of what? The Warner? Because the Illuminati only sees one side, the back side.
So you have seen both sides. So my question to you is: why exactly do people always attribute it to Islam and act as if Islam is altogether violent? Because
Did you say why exactly Zut people?
Yeah. So why do people act this way? I'm trying to understand, and I don't understand. Why do people act like this when most Muslims are not violent?
Because people are Islamophobes. I don't know why this is so confusing to you.
Hang on. All right. So I'm just asking you particularly this question because you have been on both sides of the issue, and of course you have seen it. You know what you're talking about. So what I don't understand is that when a terrorist attack happens, why do people ascribe it to Islam when the other religions also have their own problems?
Because they're racist.
All right. Oh. So, because to my understanding, most Muslims don't commit any terrorist attacks and don't commit acts of violence. They're quite peaceful people. I know moderate Muslims. I talk to them, and they point out that Islam is the most peaceful religion.
That's true.
Yeah. So why do people always try to make it about all Muslims or most Muslims? It doesn't. It appears nonsensical to me.
How many different ways can I say they're racist?
Well,
they're racist.
I want to ask.
They're racist.
You obviously have seen it.
Racist.
This is literally this is how it goes with Piers Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
There is no brain behind it, man.
No, it's here are the talking points when dealing with Islam. Here are the memorized talking points. Keep saying these things over and over in this succession. This, then start over. This, then start over. This. Under no circumstances do you actually process whatever anyone is telling you.
That is not how they interpret Islam. They do not see Islam as a faith that necessitates you being violent. It's the extremists.
He's just saying the same thing over and over again. We'll listen to there's like 10 more minutes of this, but I'm not interested in listening to 10 more minutes of this. We'll listen to Mosab's response to whatever idiotic nonsense Pierce is saying here. Then we'll go ahead and listen to listen to that Dawa clip again.
Well,
every religion had.
What?
There is the one question that's on my mind though. So after all this talk, which is, why do people make it look like most Muslims are the problem or Islam is the problem?
I know. Hold that thought, because Mosab's gonna say a bunch of stuff, and then you can just bring that up over and over again like Pierce does. So here we go.
And because there are 2 billion Muslims, there's going to be exponentially more probably Muslim extremists in other religions, just simply on numbers. But they do not see Islam itself as the problem. They see extremism and extremist interpretation of Islam as the problem. And they make a clear delineation, whereas it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong,
you're wrong,
but your position is anybody that follows the faith of Islam, 2 billion people right now do that they must all follow a path of violence, or they...
You giant idiot.
Hang on, not all people are idiots. So why do people make it look like most people
what
are
it
idiots?
means to follow Islam?
Again, to identify with something that you don't understand and try to just manipulate it to suit your position because your
Did he say zoot your position?
Yeah.
To zoot your position.
perception of yourself that you are a peaceful person, yet you give cover to the jihadists and to the bad guys, and you legitimize a belief system that does not believe in the other's right to exist. For example, the Prophet Muhammad, when a bunch of Arabians came to him and they said, we became Muslims. He said, don't say that you became Muslims. He said, لا تقولوا أسلمنا لا تقولوا آمنا.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
قولوا أسلمنا ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلوبنا. Meaning that you only Muslims. Even Muhammad himself considered Muslim is just a very basic level, entry level into Islam. But if you
say that again, that sounds beautiful.
He said entry level in Islam is not the same as the Warner's entry level into Islam.
you want to look at a bright side, that's Sufism, Sufis. And there are so many Sufi masters in the West, in Europe, also in the East, that actually stay away from politics completely. They withdraw, like the Hanifs, like Muhammad when he went, abandoned Mecca and went up to the mountain in a long retreat, seeking spirituality, seeking God in devotion. I highly encourage the Muslims actually to do this, to look within and to drop the label, including the Muslim label. What's the point of identifying as a Muslim? Means that you are entitled for something. What do you want in return? And especially in days where the Muslim card pays. And what I say, that drop the identity completely. First of all, you're a human being. Be a good person. Be like Ahmed. When you see the hateful campaign against the Jewish minority, very productive, very successful people that actually have very good relationship with the Muslims. There are so many Muslims in Israel. There are so many Arabs in Israel, and they have equal rights.
Okay,
they have their mosques.
Pause. But then the question that comes to my mind, of course, is then why do people frequently make it all about Islam, and why do people act like most Muslims are violent?
That's what I'm wondering, but there's no way Piers is going to bring that up.
Have even representatives in the Israeli parliament. So Israel and the Jewish people don't look towards the Muslims with hatred. So now when we see the waves, especially after October 7th, spreading hatred against the Jewish people, then I see 2 billion people, okay? Let them be even 7 billion people agreeing on barbarism, then I will have to confront all of them. So why do they identify with something they don't understand? Before they are Muslims, they are humans. We are all children of God. Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu.
Not all people are children.
We are all expressions of the divine. Individualized expressions of the divine. And for us, what we need to find our individuality before we need to hide behind a mask. Actually, if you look at what is a Muslim, can you please help me define a Muslim? What is a Muslim? Can you define it? I bet you won't be able to find a definition for what a Muslim is. So everybody, it's only in their head. And at the end...
My issue with what he's saying here is that despite all of this, most people make it look like Islam is violent, and people ascribe most of the violence to Muslims and Islam in general, when I have a lot of moderate Muslims who are not violent, and to say that these verses are taken out of context. So why is it that people have this perception that most Muslims are violent and that Islam itself is violent?
Yep, Piers can have a 30-minute interview, 40-minute interview, 50-minute interview, 60-minute interview, and that's all he'll say 27 times. In response to anything.
Which brings me to my next thought, which is, why do people generally ascribe the violence and the bad thing to Islam? When I have moderate Muslim friends who say that that this is all because of how Islam is misinterpreted, because they themselves are not violent. So why do people act like most Muslims are violent?
Hadn't thought about that one. Hadn't thought about that one.
So AP wanted us to watch that. Pierce saying the same thing over and over again.
What an imbecile, man. Like, who listens to this dumb advice?
I'm just saying, we had all this interesting stuff at AmFest and everywhere else. We got the Candace Owens stuff, Tucker Carlson stuff, everyone's stuff. We literally had Nicki Minaj going and speaking at AmFest. Could have covered any of this. We had all this. We had all this Warner stuff. You know, we could have gone much deeper. Not in the Illuminati sense.
I watched Nicki Minaj's interview and appearance. It was basically like this. I can just summarize it. It was basically like this. Donald Trump and JD Vance are very handsome and strong and smart men, obviously. And everybody should be more like them.
And look at my boobies.
Dude, why are you mocking her, man?
Huh?
Why are you mocking her? She said very positive, very good things for the conservative movement.
Did she sound extremely intelligent?
Yes. Why are you mocking her? What's wrong with you, man?
Based. All right, guys, we're going to check out the because way more people were here than were here at the beginning. We're going to check out the Dawa clip again. We'll take these last couple super chats and then we'll watch the clip one more time. It's super awesome. After 2 years, wait, I already saw this. Why are you repeating yourself, man? Pierce is missing the point. If want to establish if Islam promotes terrorism, the rate of Islamic terrorism is actually irrelevant. The only relevant question is what the religion actually teaches. Yeah, but you do see much greater support for terrorism as well. But yeah, it doesn't matter how many Muslims there are who don't obey what it calls for.
But the thing is, I know a lot of moderate Muslims, and they usually tell me that it's just a misinterpretation of what the Quran says and misinterpretation of Islam that results in these things because Islam generally.
I already agreed that people define Islam.
What I do not understand is why people ascribe the violence to Islam and to most Muslims in general. So.
I already agreed with you. Islam is not defined by what it teaches. What Islam teaches has nothing to do with Islam. Globalize AP and D Wood. Most Muslims don't want violence, but in the end, they'll follow the violent ones like sheep. Islam must go. Thanks from Belgium. No, Islam is peace.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but the thing is, what my issue is that I know moderate Muslims, and they usually tell me that the bad stuff actually comes from how the verses of the Quran are misinterpreted. So what I do not understand is why people act like most Muslims are violent.
Good point. I hadn't thought of that before. Jesus died on the cross for you while the Warner offered to do butt stuff for you. That's true.
That is a good point, but what I don't understand is that is why people act like most Muslims are violent.
Does defending a lion need legal aid? Free. Jai can give him my email. D Wood may remember. Yeah, I don't know. If he's at the appeal stage, and it wouldn't be requiring legal aid yet.
That is a very kind offer, but what I don't understand is that why people ascribe violence to Islam in general when I have moderate Muslim friends who say that this comes from misinterpretations.
Pine cones and pineapples are a super ancient worshipped symbol. Look at the staff of Osiris. Just don't look at the staff of the Illuminati. Your cone is a perfectly nice, pretty Muslim symbol. No butt stuff.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is, I have a lot of moderate Muslim friends, and they tell me that this is all about misinterpretation. So I'm not sure why people ascribe butt plugs to most Muslims.
Will you guys go on Pierce's show? Also, sorry, I'm late to the live stream. Are there any updates on missions to support Christians in Nigeria? Yeah, I did ask a Nigerian guy to give me like the top 2 or 3 places but yeah, I didn't hear back from him. I might need to contact him again.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is why people ascribe most of the violence to Muslims.
It wasn't the same super chat. Read it again. Hang on. I read all the super chats, man.
You can make multiple super chats, and people generally do make super chats, but I have moderate Muslim friends who tell me that this is all a misinterpretation because Islam is generally peaceful. So, and I don't understand why people act like most Muslims are at fault.
Now I'm scrolling through the super chats again because Aussie Abe says I missed his super chat.
And just because some super chats are bad, that doesn't mean all super chats are bad. Some super chats might also be misinterpreted because most moderate Muslims will read the super chat in a way that will not incite them to violence. So what I don't understand is why do people act like it is the fault of most super chats? So obviously, if you read a super chat, on its surface, it says quite nice things.
Here it is. Off topic, but any of you looked into abortion statistics for Muslims? Westerners are under the assumption that Islam is anti-abortion and pro-life. We looked at that. We already read it and we discussed it. What are you telling us to do?
Plus, most Muslims don't have abortions. So I'm not sure why people act like most Muslims are responsible for abortions. So.
And you said, after 2 years, Australia is banning the public usage of the phrase globalize the intifada. Apparently, after Sunday, it has become a dangerous phrase. We read that too. What
intifada just stands for uprising, so some people might misinterpret that and attribute it to Islam and most Muslims. So.
And we have also Australia is now exercising their legal right to ban face coverings, including burqas. After 2 years, they all of a sudden realize the danger. We read that too.
Well, now you're mentioning danger with Islam, implying that most Muslims are dangerous. But I'm not sure why people understand Islam is generally dangerous.
Oh. So he had another one. After 2 years, the Australian government has exercised the right to make illegal the radical preaching of Islam's in Sydney. It's all of a sudden a danger. Is that the one we missed? You're posting almost the same thing over and over again.
But I have moderate Muslim friends who tell me Islam is not dangerous. So.
I wonder why Mosab doesn't connect his words into a single phrase. Human children. Yeah, children.
Human children.
Human children. Human children. Hey, Aussie Abe. It wasn't the same super chat. Read it again. Read. For the human children. That's what you should say. Tate got his face zooted till he was bleeding out of his leather straps.
Yeah, but most Muslims have nothing to do with the zut because my moderate Muslim friends say that this is mostly a misinterpretation and they're peaceful.
Scholar Mo Salah claims there is no link between the Quran and Prophet Muhammad, arguing that this disconnect causes the foundations of Islam to fail.
Well, my moderate Muslim friends say that Islam is all peaceful, and I'm not sure why people make it all about all Muslims.
I have no friends, Mike Winger. That's true.
And Mike Winger seems to be quite Islamophobic, and I'm not sure why people make it all about Muslims because I have moderate Muslim friends.
Mike Winger only has enemies and dumb people who mindlessly follow him. But none of those can be considered real friends. All right, guys, we'll check out this clip one more time. For those of you who missed it. For those of you who missed it, we have breaking news. Breaking news. This just came out, but a Muslim who's a former rapper, been rolling with the Dawa guys. I don't know what set him off, but he decided to say what these Dawa guys are like behind the scenes. Guys, all ready?
Muslim friends say it's not a problem.
Here we go.
You said you would literally take you up the butt, Warner. You said if I had to take you up the butt one time, so I could literally be in the Illuminati, just so I could help people come to Islam, you would. Can you believe that Warner comes to me like this? He's like, Malik, I don't know how I get away with everything with the Dawah.
Pierce, get this guy on for an interview. This guy will tell you all about Islam. Pierce, get the Warner on there. Get the Warner on and ask what he's willing to do for all these various Dawa situations. Now, hang on. What would you said you'd be willing to do this, to take it up your butt, take it up your bum. You'd be willing to take it up your bum to join the Illuminati. What would you be willing to do? And then just give him a bunch of hypothetical scenarios and find out if he'd be willing to take it up the butt. Probably do that for anything. What would you do for this sandwich? Would you take it up the bum? Yes, I would. I'd do anything.
So funny, bro. This is how he talks. It's so funny, bro. I never get caught or called out for my stuff. It's because I'm big. Chat, if you remember when I took that picture on my birthday, he was like, yo, put the chain on for the pic. I was like, yo, because he was rolling the blind. Because he was rolling the blind. The chain was hurting his neck. So I said, yo, put the chain on me if you're gonna smoke, right? Chat, this guy gets high as hell all day and all night. This guy had a chick in his bed calling me on FaceTime. A random girl that he picked up. That's why, bro, when you see these Dawa guys bring
How do you know it was a girl?
influencers and they're 10 deep, just know they're at the local club at night.
10 deep? Oh, 10 deep or 30 deep?
Bring influencers and they're 10 deep, just know they're at the local club at night. Wallahi, go with your binoculars. And bro, they're always asking me, yo, Malik, where should we go? Malik, where's the spot? Malik, how do I get the cars out here? Malik, how many times has Warner hit me up to try to get him a car out there for his friends? How many times, bro, this guy's even doing TikToks. Wanna see to the tele, and he got he's doing the little dance with him. The same Muslims that pass out Qurans going to Colombia with Myron. They were all there. Sneeko, Adam, Slim, they're all there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That group, I feel like they're separate from Lantern. Like,
They're separate from Lantern. you know what this reminds me of? It's like totally different scenario, but it reminds me of it's in Luke where Jesus is just brutally condemning the Pharisees, and he's attacking them and attacking them, and then one of the scribes goes, hey, when you just said that part, that offended us too. And he goes, and woe unto you scribes too. And then he goes off on the scribes, but that's like that. He's like, and Sneeko and the Warner and blah. And the guy goes, yeah, but Muslim Lantern. Oh, Muslim Lantern. And then he turns his attention on Muslim Lantern. Oh gosh, it's funny.
Muslims that pass out Qurans going to Colombia with Myron. They were all there. Sneeko, Adam, Slim, they're all there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That group, I feel like they're separate from Lantern. Like,
Okay, fam. Why are you busy on Lantern? Go ask him. Say Warner said you were in Bosnia smashing hoes with you and Sneeko. Is it true?
Did you hear that? Smashing hoes. Though Muslim Lantern was in Bosnia smashing hoes with. Muslim Lantern was in Bosnia smashing hoes with Sneeko. Hey, AP. You know what's interesting?
What?
You remember that clip of Muhammad Hijab with Sneeko?
Yeah.
That was when they were in Bosnia. Hijab was there too. And you saw him stoned out of his mind. What do you think these guys are doing out there?
Dude.
These guys just roll around as one big Dawa group, and they say, "Hey, everyone, support our trip." And they go do Dawa, and then they go to the club and they pick up a bunch of chicks and they bang them, and then they get banged in their butts to try and join the Illuminati. Apparently, this is Dawa guys. This is Dawa guys. We're supposed to look at this and go, "Oh, but they're powerful arguments. They're powerful Dawa arguments." What a dysfunctional bunch of nonsense, man. Here we go.
Do you know that Leafy records phone calls of Dean and Libiano? Did you guys know that?
Dean and Libiano.
Leafy literally is on. They're supposed to be buddies, but Leafy records their phone calls. Libiano is like.
Wait a minute, prove it. How do we know Leafy records all these conversations? We're going to have to hear them to see if that's true. Leafy, we don't know if we can trust what this guy is saying. If he's telling the truth, we demand that you produce these recorded conversations. These guys don't trust each other, and they're sitting there recording phone calls so they have dirt on each other so no one can expose the other. These guys are nuts, man.
A criminal. He does bad things, but he doesn't want to get caught on the phone calls. Libiano is like a criminal. He does bad things, but he doesn't want to get caught on the phone, so they have to record him. May Allah curse me if I'm lying. But imagine, I'm the problem maker.
Wait, Dean, you don't know who we are?
Yeah.
Wait, Dean, you just say we don't know who we are? Hey, Dean, you took conscious edits from ChatGPT, bro, and now you think you're special.
Wallah,
what the
you
bro?
Yeah, all right,
Bro, you debate like a dry piece of toast.
Yo, bro.
Dean, you debate like a dry piece of toast,
Bro,
dude.
why are you doing?
Chill out.
Why are you why are you coming for Dean?
And guys, that's the tip of the iceberg. I haven't even gotten to personal shit. You said you would literally take you up the butt, Warner. You said if I had to take you up the butt one time, so I could literally be in the Illuminati, just so I could help people come to Islam, you would.
I would take it. I would let all the Illuminati bang me in my butt if they would let me join their group, because this would make me even more powerful Dawa, and then I could smash even more hoes.
Dawa bros smashing hoes, dropping thobes.
Dawa
Something like
bros smashing hoes. Dawa bros, we smashing them hoes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We about that
Dawa
Dawa
bros.
life here. We about that Dawa life.
Easy flows. In the front rows. Dawa glows. Islamic pros. Something like that. It's a new song.
Oh, boy.
Dawa bros smashing hoes. That should be a song. All right.
Is it true that when a Muslim buys a house, they have to rip out the toilet if it faces Mecca? I always see toilets in their front yards. No idea.
Haven't heard of that.
Why people think the Fada targets only Jews? I can't find a reason or source. Thoughts? I think it isn't specific. Well, I mean,
Well, my question
no,
is
there
just
it is.
my question is just why do people ascribe the violence to Islam in general when I have moderate Muslim friends who say that all of this is a misinterpretation?
The Intifada is directed towards Jews. Yeah, so I'm not aware of it being used in other contexts, like let's start the Intifada against Canadians or something like that. Paying jizya so AP knows we get it. Move on. There you go. Yeah. See, they're saying we get it, AP. Not like the Warner gets it, but...
Yeah, but my question is why do people ascribe the violence in general to Islam when I have moderate Muslim friends?
By the way, Matthias beat you and Chris in writing an Islamic dilemma book. I mean, anyone could beat us in writing a book. You could just write it and make it a terrible book. But did he make an awesome book? No.
I have moderate Muslim friends.
How are the defenses of Constantinople looking these days? On an unrelated note, thoughts on the story of Rahab?
I have moderate Muslim friends. Who is Rahab?
Rahab the harlot. Are you talking about someone else?
Well, Constantinople is kind of being solid right now, but I still have it planned in my future to conquer it and to dedicate it once again to Christianity. So
you need to wait. The Korean bacon guy was on Liam Tufts today. Who's Liam Tufts?
Really? I know Liam Tufts. Liam Tufts is a tough guy. He's a good guy. Gotta check that out.
And Warren scouring the earth in search of the Illuminati to give them an offer they can't refuse. Is that his name? Is that why he goes by Warner? Because it sounds like his name Warren? Warren? This guy wants to be a guy named Warren sounds like a guy who'd be like, yes, pay me in my butt so I can join your group. Oh, wow. Hey, you know it's really screwed up.
What?
If that's like his mentality, in order to join a group, you have to get banged in the butt. It's like, hey, aren't these guys all like Dawa buddies? Like, how do you join his Dawa group if he thinks that to join a group you have to get banged in the butt?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. But my question is, why do people make it look like all Muslims are violent when I have moderate Muslim friends who say that the verses are taken out of context and misinterpreted?
2026 going to be dope. All right, guys, we're going to close out. As of last week, I think I'm on with IP tomorrow, but he hasn't said anything since then. But I think I'm going to be on with IP tomorrow.
IP2.
We talked about Daniel Hakikachu saying, oh, Mary was 12 according to the proto-evangelium of James. And we go and it says she was 16. But then what's his face? Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, came out, oh, I found something that says there's a variant that says she was 12. And so we're going to, are you guys retracting what you said? So we're actually going to look at the manuscripts and see what's up. So anyway, that might be tomorrow. AP, what's going on?
Well, my biggest question is generally that, so I have moderate Muslim friends who tell me that Islam is generally peaceful and the Quran is generally being misinterpreted by the radicals who then commit violent acts. So my question is, since you have seen both sides, why do some people make it look like most Muslims are violent when most Muslims are peaceful people?
But what's going on this week?
Oh, well, I have moderate Muslim friends, and those moderate Muslim friends tell me that the Bible, the Quran, has been misinterpreted and all that. So,
Thursday is Christmas, so tomorrow I might be on with IP.
IP2.
Tuesday, got nothing. We could do something there. Then is Christmas Eve. I'll be going live with Hatun for about an hour at 9 p.m. We've been going live at 8, but this will be 9. 25th is Christmas Day. Not sure what's going on then. Might jump on live since Dawa guys just seem hell-bent on giving us tons of stuff right now at the end of the year. It might be good to wish them a Merry Christmas for all the gifts they're giving us right now. Then there's the 26th. Then there's the 27th, then the 28th, then the 29th, then the 30th, then the 31st. We'll have to do something big on the 31st, get everyone together, because we did that last year. And we all talked about what an awful year 2024 was for the Dawa guys. And did we think that 2025 was going to be better or the same or worse? Everyone said 2025 was going to be worse. And it was by far. So we'll have to address the same question to decide whether it's going to be what we predict for 2026. I predict it's going to be worse.
Nice.
Map. Will your they don't say AP, they say map. Will your moderate Muslim friends help you retake Constantinople? Yes, they will.
Well, my moderate Muslim friends generally say that this is a misinterpretation of the peaceful Quran verses, and my question is just why do people act like most Muslims are violent?
That is the question for all times, and I'm sure Piers is still going to be asking it long into the future, even after he's been completely subjugated. Sign of 90 says, I hope D. Wood has something prepared for January 7th. What's January 7th?
It's the 7th of January.
January the 8th is Elvis's birthday, but what's the 7th?
It's the 7th day of January.
It's like Elvis's birthday eve?
My moderate Muslim friends say there is nothing special on January 7th.
It's January 7th, man. Someone says it's the 7th day of the year. Duh. Orthodox Christmas is January 7th. Why would he be doing something on Orthodox Christmas?
Because my moderate Muslim friends say that.
I want to wish you an Orthodox Christmas. I want to wish you an Orthodox Christmas. I want to wish you an Orthodox Christmas from the bottom of the Warner's butt.
All right. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. David Uthman is doing live debates on Christmas Eve. Join his stream.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. He's like, hey, I challenge all of you to a debate. David Wood, Apus.
Wait, he named me?
All the others.
He named me?
He did.
I never saw
it. He did name you. He named Inspiring Philosophy. I believe he named Raymond Ibrahim. He named even PBD for some reason. He named you. He named me. And somebody else, and he said we should he will buy us tickets and fly us out on December 24th to debate on Christmas Eve to debate. What a cowardly move, man.
Fly us where?
I don't know, wherever it is. So I said to him, yeah, pick a better day than Christmas Eve, you dork. Then he said, pick a different date and I will buy your tickets and fly you down. So I said, okay, January something. He didn't respond.
Yeah, I would have no problem with it being Christmas Eve. I have a problem with him like controlling things, like coming to him and stuff. So yeah, Sheikh Uthman, DebateCon is next month, man. Set it up. Just message James from Modern Day Debate. Say you want to debate at DebateCon. There are an endless array of us willing to debate you at DebateCon. Right? So let's do it. But you're not going to, are you? You'll be too busy faking a hate crime and taking your buddy's wife from him.
My moderate Muslim
choking your wife.
friends. say that this is a misinterpretation of the Quran.
Well, that's a valid
Anyway.
point. All right, guys. We will catch you all next time. Might be on IP's channel tomorrow. We'll see. I'll message him afterwards. And catch y'all later.
Catch y'all later with all our moderate Muslim friends who say that this is all a big misinterpretation and we don't know why people say most Muslims are violent.
And more information coming out on the Dawa stuff.
And moderate Muslim friends.
Or should we say the Dawa butt stuff? Catch y'all later.